Chapter 401. What if the Heavenly Gate sect could not fulfill their promise? Master Xianyuan only frowned slightly. Oh. Tell me the reason. Master, Earthfire is very important. Otherwise, why would Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist priest Jinyi abandon the friendship between our three sects and submit to the tyranny of the Heavenly Gate sect? Du Gai snorted coldly and suppressed his displeasure, waiting for Yun Chujio to continue. Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist Zenya's expressions looked unnatural. This little girl's words are really unpleasant to hear, but Heavenly Gate sect are a little too arrogant. Without the Earthfire, refining weapons and pills will be restricted, so we can only bear with the pain and give up our precious share of spirit stones to exchange for the Earthfire. Sect Master, we can't delay the sect's advancement just because of a momentary impulse. Please think twice. Yun Chujio said with incomparable pain. It was as if they did not agree to Heavenly Gate sect, Spirit Radiance sect would be exterminated. Yun Chujio gave Elder Chu a look. Elder Chu thought to himself, this little Jio has always been crafty and resourceful. She must have her reasons for doing this. Therefore Elder Chu also quickly said, Sect Master, what little Jio said makes sense. The Earthfire has been cut off for a month, and whether it's refining pills or refining weapons, it has been greatly affected. We should agree to Heavenly Gate sect's conditions. A few of the elders who were quick-witted heard Elder Chu's words, and in view of Yun Chujio's character of seizing opportunities, everyone felt that there must be something fishy going on, so they all started to assist. Sect leader Little Jio and Elder Chu's words make sense. The Earthfire can't be cut off. Transferring 1/10 of the Spirit Stones will not have much of an impact on Spirit Radiance sect, but we absolutely cannot do without Earthfire. That's right, Sect leader. We can earn Spirit Stones through other channels, but only Heavenly Gate sect has Earthfire. I also agree with Little Jio's words. Let's accept Heavenly Gate sect's conditions. Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist priest Jinyi were dumbfounded. Before this little girl returned, these people from Spirit Radiance sect did not express this. They would rather not use the Earthfire than agree to Heavenly Gate sect's conditions. Why was it that this little girl uttered a few words and suddenly everyone had a change of mind? Did this little girl's words carry so much weight? Master Xianyuan seemed to be in a difficult position. What you said makes sense, but the share of spirit stones is also very important. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. Master Xianyuan, as the saying goes, one who is not prepared to risk his child will never catch the wolf. 1. There's no way to get the best of both worlds. Achieving balance between the two is more important than the Earthfire. Master Xianyuan gritted his teeth and said, all right, since both of you are inclined to buy the Earthfire, then I agree to use 1/10 of the Spirit Stones to buy Earthfire. Master Xianyuan thought to himself, little ancestor, you better not screw this up or else we will end up losing everything. Since that's the case, Master Xianyuan, let's sign the contract. Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist Jinyi will be the witnesses. Du Gai was very pleased when he heard Master Xianyuan say that. This time I'll get 1/10 of your spirit stones. Next time I'll get 1/5 of Master Xuanyuan's spirit stones. Sooner or later, our Heavenly Gate sect would unify Qingxian. Du Gai took out the contract that he had prepared long ago and gestured for Master Xianyuan to sign it and seal it with Spirit Radiance sect's official seal. Yun Chujio hopped to the front of Master Xianyuan and glanced at the contract a few times. Then she curled her lips and pointed out a couple things. Master Du Gai, this contract can't only be binding Spirit Radiance sect, right? What if Heavenly Gate sect can't fulfill the contract? For example, what if you can't provide enough Earthfire? Chapter 402. Do you dare to accept? Du Gai sneered again and again. What a joke. For thousands of years, the Earthfire supply our sect has always been of high quality and quantity. When has there ever been an oversight? It's better to be safe than sorry. Since you think there wouldn't be a problem, then what's the harm in adding one more clause? Yun Chujio said with a smile. What do you want to add? Du Gai snorted coldly. Well, it's very simple. If Heavenly Gate sect is unable to provide sufficient Earthfire according to the contract, then not only will your sect have to return our share of spirit stones, you will also have to compensate us with an additional 1/10 of our sect's share of spirit stones. Do you dare to accept? Yun Chujio crossed her arms, her legs were shaking and her face was full of arrogance. Outrageous. Our Heavenly Gate sect has never signed such an Earthfire contract before. Du Gai slammed the table and said unhappily. Say the agreement Heavenly Gate sect prepared is a hegemonic one. If your Heavenly Gate sect is unable to supply earth fire, wouldn't we be at a huge loss? Besides, the previous contract was just to buy earth fire with spirit stones. Right now we're giving away 1/10 of our share of spirit stones. Sect leader, if he doesn't agree, we won't sign the contract. At most, we'll go out and buy medicinal pills and spirit tools in the future. What's the big deal about that? Don't tell me 1/10 of our share of spirit stones isn't enough to buy medicinal pills and spirit tools. This is really infuriating. It's making me so angry that I'm hungry. After Yun Chujio finished speaking, she hopped back behind Elder Chu, took out a spirit fruit and started munching on it. Master Xinyuan frowned. Yun Chujio is right. Heavenly Gate sect is too unreasonable. If you don't agree to add this clause, then let's forget about this matter. The sect hasn't reached the point that we have to disband it just because we don't have earth fire. Du Gai's expression changed a few times. He looked at the few elders of Heavenly Gate's sect who were sitting behind him and exchanged glances with them. Du Gai then said, "All right, there's no harm in adding this clause. Our sect's earth fire hasn't had any problems for thousands of years. I don't believe that will be any different this time." After adding this clause to the contract, Master Xinyuan and Du Gai signed their names and stamped the official seals of both sects on it. Fairy Yu Mei and Daoist Jinni also signed their names as witnesses. The contract was considered to be effective. Du Gai said proudly, "Master Xinyuan, since the contract is already effective, then Spirit Radiant sect should hurry and send someone to the Spirit Stone Mine with us to hand it over." "Master Du, why are you in such a hurry? We have guests from afar. I've prepared a banquet and I hope everyone will come." Master Xinyuan was truly uncertain. "Little Nine, what exactly are you planning? The earth fire from Heavenly Gate's sect hasn't wavered for thousands of years. Could something really happen? In that case, they'll have to trouble you. As long as the transaction of the Spirit Stone Mine is completed, they'll give the order to restore the supply of earth fire to Spirit Radiant sect." Du Gai was feeling extremely at ease at that moment. The previous generations of sect masters did not have my boldness and were always cautious. The Heavenly Gate sect would definitely flourish in my hands. At the banquet, Du Gai was very proud. Fairy Yu Mei and Daoist Jinni frowned slightly. The Heavenly Gate sect had taken advantage of Spirit Radiant sect. It's inevitable for them to attack us in the future. We should be more cautious when we go back. The people from Spirit Radiant sect ate unenthusiastically. They were a little uncertain. Will Little Geo fail this time? If they miscalculated, it would be so embarrassing. They had 8 fire spirit beasts. If they used 1/10 of their spirit stones to buy earth fire, their heads would be kicked by spirit beasts. Chapter 403. Something monumental happened. Yun Chujio, on the other hand, was enjoying her meal. Originally, those who attended the banquet were all elders, so Yun Chujio had nothing to do with it. This shameless girl decided to follow them. Then she even sat at the table with Master Xinyuan and the others. Although Du Gai hated this little girl to death, it was all thanks to her words that he was able to succeed this time, so he did not say anything. Fairy Yu Mei and Daoist Jinni frowned. Spirit Radiant sect was too unruly. A mere successor disciple was actually on equal footing with them. However, the two of them had a deep sense of self-restraint. Although they were dissatisfied, they did not say anything. Master Xinyuan cried out bitterly in his heart. "This is Spirit Radiant sect's little ancestor. If she was not qualified to sit here, no one would be." Yun Chujio saw a roast chicken on the table. She was not shy and courteous at all and broke off a drumstick and started eating. Du Gai had a look of disdain. "Little girl, how many days have you not eaten? Could it be that Spirit Radiant sect is this poor? You can't even feed your disciples?" Yun Chujio said with a smile, "Didn't I just come back? I just did some physical work, so I'm really hungry. Please forgive me. Master Du, I advise you to eat more. The world is unpredictable and you might not be in the mood to eat later." Du Gai snorted coldly. "I've always been open-minded, so how could I let small matters affect my mood?" Yun Chujio nodded. "Yeah, I admire big-hearted people like you. I hope that Sect Master Du will always maintain this." Fairy Yu Mei and Daoist Jinni looked at each other. This Yun Chujio spoke without any scruples, and Master Xinyuan does not try to stop her. The rest of the Spirit Radiance sect also had a conniving attitude. Could it be that Yun Chujio and Master Xinyuan were related by blood? Could she be Master Xuanyuan's illegitimate? Master Xinyuan frowned. Could it be that Yu Mei and Zenya's eyes were cramping? Why did they look at me with such a strange gaze? At that moment, a disciple of Spirit Radiance sect came in to report. Sect leader Elder Nyo and Elder Ma of Heavenly Gate sect requests to see you. They say that they have something important to report to sect leader Du Gai. Du Gai's heart inexplicably trembled. Something big must have happened. Otherwise they would not have traveled all the way to Spirit Radiance sect. Master Xinyuan signaled the disciple who had reported to him to invite Elder Nyo and Elder Ma in. A moment later, two elders dressed in Heavenly Gate sect's elder attire walked in with solemn expressions. After the two of them greeted each other, they said to Du Gai, "Sect Master, we have something important to report. Please excuse us for a moment." When Sect Master Du Gai saw their expressions, a strong sense of unease welled up in his heart. He immediately went outside with the two of them. After opening the isolation array, he asked, "What happened?" Elder Nyo and Elder Ma were on the verge of tears. "Sect Master, something monumental happened. Not only has the earth fire in the earth fire cave been extinguished, even that fire spirit beast has disappeared without a trace." Du Gai only felt a buzzing sound in his head as he grabbed Elder Ma's clothes. "What did you say? Say it again." Elder Ma repeated the matter with a bitter expression. "Sect Master, the matter has already happened. We should hurry up and make up for it. Since the sect masters of Bixiao Palace and Immortal Sword sect are both here, let's take this opportunity to cancel the contract. Anyway, the contract doesn't have a clause that says that we have to pay compensation if we breach the contract." Du Gai's face was ashen and the veins on his forehead bulged. He gritted his teeth and said, "I didn't include that clause in the original contract, but I fucking did in the new contract with Spirit Radiance sect." Chapter 404. I actually hit the nail on the head. Elder Nyo and Elder Ma were dumbfounded. They asked with trembling faces, "Sect Master, what compensation did you include?" Although the two of them were a little worried, they felt that the sect master would still know his limits. Even if he wrote a compensation, it would not be too much. The two of them saw Du Gai's face turn green, then red, then purple. He gritted his teeth and said, 1/10 of their spirit stones." Elder Nyo and Elder Ma nearly fainted. "What? Sect leader, what did you say?" Du Gai gritted his teeth and said again, "The matter of the earth fire extinguishing is inextricably linked to Spirit Radiance sect for sure. That old man Xinyuan set a trap for me. Sect leader, but we didn't find any traces of other people entering the cave. Moreover, the earth fire is violent and difficult to extinguish. How would they do it? Moreover, Spirit Radiance sect's Master Xinyuan and the elders are all in the sect, who is so heaven-defying that not only did they extinguish the earth fire, but they also stole the fire spirit beast." The first person that flashed through Du Gai's mind was Yun Chujio. However, he shook his head. This was simply the biggest joke in the world. She was just a little girl at the 4th level of spirit enhancement. Even if there were 100 or 1,000 of them added together, they would not be able to accomplish such a big feat. Could it be that it was not done by them? They had just happened to take advantage of it? Du Gai was in a terrible state at that moment and was prepared to return to the sect to discuss with everyone first. It would be best if he obtained the Spirit Radiance sect's share of the spirit stones first. As for the earth fire, he would find an excuse to delay it for a period of time. As for the 1/10 of the spirit stones that he would have to compensate Spirit Radiance sect, he would just act like a scoundrel when the time came and say that he could not give it to them no matter what. The Immortal sect could not do anything to Heavenly Gate sect anyway. Du Gai made up his mind and calmed his expression. Only then did he act as if nothing had happened and enter the banquet hall. The two elders were also invited into the banquet hall and sat down to attend the banquet. Master Xinyuan and the two other sect masters were extremely curious. What exactly had happened to Heavenly Gate sect that they sent two elders to Spirit Radiance sect? Sect Master Dugu, did something happen? Do you need our help? Master Xinyuan asked tentatively. It's nothing serious. It's just a dispute between a few disciples. One of them is my true disciple who was slightly injured, Du Gai said in a decent manner. Everyone was skeptical, but this was the private matter of Heavenly Gate sect, so it was naturally not appropriate to ask too much. However, there was still the shameless Yun Chujio. This fellow had almost finished eating, so she leaned back on the chair and said with a grin, "Is it not a big deal? I heard from the side just now that your earth fire has been extinguished, and the fire spirit beast has been stolen. Are you planning to act like a scoundrel and stall for time without compensating us? Du Gai blurted out, nonsense. How can I be the kind of person who doesn't keep his word? Du Gai immediately regretted his words. He had fallen for this stupid girl's trick. The three of us had set up an isolation array. It was impossible for this stupid girl to hear us. She was trying to trick me. However, it was already too late. Everyone in the banquet hall immediately reacted. There was no fool there. Looking at Du Gai's reaction, it was most likely true. If nothing had happened to the earth fire, Du Gai would have refuted the first few sentences Yun Chujio said and not the last sentence about stalling for time. Yun Chujio clapped her hands. Oh my god, could it be that your earth fire has really been extinguished? The fire spirit beast has also disappeared? I was just casually saying it and I actually hit the nail on the head. Oh my god, did Heavenly Gate sect do something so heartless that they were punished by the heavens? Chapter 405. This little girl is suspicious, utterly heartless? Punished by the heavens? Du Gai wished he could strangle Yun Chujio to death and was about to make a move out of humiliation. Yun Chujio hid behind Master Shenyuan and said, damn, I was only guessing. Who knew I would guessed it right? So now that I did, you want to murder me just to silence me. Besides, I'm so young, my words should not bring meaning. Don't you know? You're really narrow-minded. You even said that you were open-minded before this. Humph. Master Shenyuan protected Yun Chujio behind him. However, he reprimanded her. Yun Chujio, how can you speak like that? As the sect leader of a sect, how could sect leader Du lower himself to your level? Sect leader Du, you're not really going to take this little girl seriously, are you? Furthermore, there's a problem with your sect's earth fire. Aren't you going to give the three sects an explanation? Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist Jinny were shocked. There was really something wrong with Heavenly Gate sect's earth fire? How could it be so coincidental? They had just signed a contract with Spirit Radiance sect with a compensation agreement when something went amiss with their earth fire. This matter definitely had something to do with the Spirit Radiance sect, but how did they do it? Earth fire was different from ordinary fire. It could not be extinguished even with water. Not to mention the fire spirit beast had not been seen for thousands of years. How was this possible? However, Heavenly Gate sect was usually very arrogant. It was a good opportunity to vent their anger. That's right, sect leader D, don't have to hide it anymore. The two elders must have come from thousands of miles away to report something very important. For your sect to be so frazzled, it must be related to the earth fire. Taoist Jinny said with a cold smile. If the little girl didn't expose this, he would have really treated us as fools. Fairy Yu Mei also sneered. Sect leader Du Gai, although the contract between you and Bixiao Palace doesn't mention the compensation for breach of contract, we can't just let this go, right? Du Gai gritted his teeth. At this point he could not hide it anymore and could only delay it for a while. Hence he squeezed out a smile and said, everyone, don't worry. Our Heavenly Gate sect is not a sect that's irresponsible. However, the incident happened suddenly, so I have to go back and understand the situation first before I can give you an answer. Everyone, I'm sorry. We'll take my leave first. Goodbye. After saying that, Du Gai led the group of people from Heavenly Gate sect and left. No one stopped him. They had not reached the point of falling out with each other yet. There was still a long way to go, and they were not afraid to settle their scores. Master Jinny laughed out loud. Master Shenyuan, you're really something. You actually managed to get Heavenly Gate sect's fire spirit beast here. Master Shenyuan saw Yun Chujio shaking her head slightly, so he said self-deprecatingly, Master Jinny, you're overestimating our sect too much. The Heavenly Gate sect's earth fire cave is heavily guarded and even has the earth fire as a barrier. We do not have the ability to pull something like that off. Besides, other than the few elders who are in secluded cultivation, all of our sect's competent people are here. How could we have the chance to steal the fire spirit beast? However, no matter which expert did it or if it really was heaven's punishment, it definitely helped us vent our anger. All these years, the Heavenly Gate sect has relied on the earth fire to take advantage of our three sects. When Taoist Jinny and Fairy Yu Mei heard what Master Shenyuan said and began to mutter in their hearts. That's right, everyone in Spirit Radiance sect who's competent is here. It's impossible for them to have the opportunity to steal the fire spirit beast. Little girl, How did you know that there was a problem with the Heavenly Gate sect's earth fire? Fairy Yume stared at Yun Chujio and asked. This little girl is rather suspicious. If it wasn't for her, the sect wouldn't have agreed to sign the contract, and they wouldn't have proposed adding the clause of compensation for breach of contract. Could a little girl at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm do such an earth-shattering thing? Chapter 406. 9 is a bit lacking. Yun Chujio giggled. I guessed it. Look at the 2 elders who came, one with the surname of Nyo and the other with the surname of Ma. Isn't that just the ox head and horse face? That definitely won't be a good thing. I figured that the most important thing for them is their earth fire, so I just casually said that. I didn't expect that I actually got it right. Everyone, including Fairy Yume, were speechless. Can you be more serious? Are you kidding me? Yun Chujio, be serious and answer Master Yume's question properly. Master Xinyuan reprimanded unhappily. Yun Chujio pouted and said, I was really just saying it casually. Just look at the 2 elders from Heavenly Gate sect who came here with weeping faces. It's obvious that something big has happened. When they came back, even though Du Gai tried his best to hide it, his forehead was already sweating. It's obvious that something big happened. I just tricked him a little. I didn't expect him to admit it. Don't tell me that you guys think that I stole the Heavenly Gate sect's fire spirit beast. If I had that ability, I would definitely take it out to show off. The people from Spirit Radiance sect also laughed out loud as if they were listening to a joke. However, in their hearts they were thinking, it was you. It was you. It was you. It was definitely you who did it. Otherwise, with your character of seizing all opportunities, why would you even take the initiative to agree with Heavenly Gate sect's offer? You were clearly digging a huge pit. That old thing Du Gai thought he's smart, but he was still tricked by this little girl with a belly full of evil tricks. Fairy Yume and Taoist Jinny did not panic at all when they saw Yun Chujio laughing. They also thought that they were overthinking. How could such a little girl have such great abilities? They must be overthinking. Master Xinyuan discussed some follow-up matters with the 2 of them. Then they left with their entourage. Master Xinyuan quickly activated the isolation array. Then he asked in a trembling voice, Yun Chujio, did you cause the problems Heavenly Gate sect is facing? Yun Chujio straightened her small body, raised her neck and said smugly, of course I did. Other than me, who else has the ability to do such an earth-shattering thing? The corners of everyone's eyes twitched, but they were also very impressed. It was no wonder that this little girl was so smug. She indeed had the right to be smug. She actually extinguished Heavenly Gate sect's earth fire and even kidnapped the fire spirit beast. It was really satisfying. I heard that you also took in 8 fire spirit beasts from the fire cave? Master Xinyuan continued to ask. Yun Chujio nodded. Yes, there are only 8. Chapter 407. There must be something fishy going on. The people of Spirit Radiance sect were all extremely excited. Heavens, they had finally seen the appearance of fire spirit beasts in their lifetime. Plus, there were 9 of them. It was simply too exciting, was it not? In the future, sect's earth fire would be endless. Moreover, they could even sell it to other sections. It was truly a beautiful sight to behold. Come, little babies. Let's show them the formation we've practiced. Let's start with a long snake formation. Yun Chujio said proudly with her little hands behind her back. The 9 fire spirit beasts obediently lined up in a row. 2 dragons playing with beads. Triple grand sun rising. When the people of Spirit Radiance sect saw the fire spirit beasts obediently changing their formation according to Yun Chujio's words, they could not help but be dumbfounded. Some people even secretly pinched themselves, grimacing in pain as they rubbed their eyes with all their might. Fuck, didn't people say that fire spirit beasts are stubborn and violent? Why are the 9 in front of them even more obedient than little sheep? Could it be that the little sheep had disguised themselves? Come on, you guys are ancient exotic beasts. Can you have some integrity? Is this acting cute and juggling something that you ancient beasts should do? Have you seen enough? Hate them. Yun Chujio put the fire spirit beast back into the spirit beast pouch and said, Master Xinyuan, if there's nothing else, I'll go back to the dormitory. Master Xinyuan pondered over it and felt that something wasn't right. Yun Chujio, what's the arrangement for the fire spirit beasts in the future? Master Xuanyuan's eyes flashed. This little girl was very stingy. Could it be that she was going to keep all the fire spirit beasts for herself? Arrangement? I'm just raising them for fun. I've practiced the formation, so if I have nothing to do, I'll get them to play kuju with me. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Cough cough. That's a little overkill. Besides, although these fire spirit beasts can eat other things, they mainly eat ores. Most importantly, what should we do with the earth fire that they discharge? It might even burn down your small courtyard. Master Xinyuan said tactfully. Master Xinyuan, they have a way to extinguish the earth fire. Otherwise, how could I extinguish the earth fire from Heavenly Gate sect? If you have something to say, just say it. I'm not an unreasonable person, Yun Chujio said with a tone that made it easy to negotiate. Cough cough. Then I will just be direct. Can we keep the fire spirit beasts in our sect's back mountain? Firstly, they can move freely. Secondly, I will send disciples to guard them strictly to prevent any accidents, Master Xinyuan said with a smile. Yun Chujio giggled. Sect Master, I understand what you mean. You just want the earth fire to belong to the sect, right? That's not impossible. I'm a person who cares about the big picture the most. Even though I fish these fire spirit beasts with buns, I'm a member of Spirit Radiant sect, so I naturally have to think of our sect. Yun Chujio, you've made a great contribution this time, so I'll reward you. Master Xuanyuan's old face flushed red. This little girl is taking the credit. That's right. If it weren't for Yun Chujio, Elder Chu and the others would have died in the fire cave. Not to mention she caught so many fire spirit beasts. Yun Chujio smiled and said, Thank you, Master. How about this? I'm not a greedy person. Our sect can use the earth fire as we please. I won't accept a single spirit stone. Everyone felt that there was something wrong with their ears. Oh my God, did the sun rise from the north? This Yun Chujio is the stingiest. Why is she suddenly so generous? There must be something fishy going on. Hee, I need it for something, so we might as well include it. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Master Xinyuan could not help but laugh, but did not ask further. Instead he asked, if the Heavenly Gate sect says that the fire spirit beast is theirs, do you have the confidence to prove that the beast has nothing to do with them? Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. That's a piece of cake. When the time comes, I'll let them slap themselves in the face. Master, you just said that the sect wants to give me a reward. What kind of reward do you want to give me? When everyone saw Yun Chujio's expression, they immediately felt at ease. Yes, that's more like it. If this little girl isn't greedy, they aren't used to it. In the end, Yun Chujio obtained a few more defensive spirit tools and an isolation array plate from Master Xinyuan. She had a special liking for defensive spirit tools. Nothing was more important than her life. Yun Chujio sat on the chopping board and returned to the dormitory. Just as she reached the courtyard entrance, Yun Chu and the others surrounded her. Yun Chu and the others were all very haggard. They had been suffering for the past month because they were worried about Yun Chujio's safety. Now that they saw Yun Chujio return safely, they were finally relieved. After Yun Chu and the others left, Yun Chujio was about to enter the house to rest when she saw a flashy man in red appear in the courtyard. Chapter 409. The chicken or the egg came first. Little sister Jio, long time no see. Did you miss your brother? Shui Wuji stroked the hair on his forehead and made a pose that he thought was the most charming. Brother Wuji, I missed you. Did you come to give me spirit stones again? Yun Chujio said with a smile. The corner of Shui Wuji's eyes twitched. Little sister Jio, you really know how to joke around. I heard that you went missing for a month. Has that facial paralysis guy been with you the whole time? Yun Chujio revealed a look of sudden realization, then she sighed. Brother Wuji, I told you that you and my Prince Charming are in a gay relationship. As expected, it turns out that your visit is fake and your curiosity about my Prince Charming's whereabouts is your true intention. Since you care about him so much, then be bold and confess to him. I don't mind. I'll fulfill your wish. Shui Wuji almost vomited. He resisted the idea of strangling Yun Chujio and squeezed out a smile. Little sister Jio is still so humorous. The person that big brother likes is you. How could I like that emotionless guy? Long time no see. Why don't we sit down and have a chat? Although Yun Chujio was annoyed to death by this red-clothed pervert, she was also afraid of angering him. She could only sit on the stone bench and ask with a smile, Big brother Wuji, what shall we talk about? I know astronomy and geography. Little sister Ji, we can talk about anything you want. Shui Wuji looked at Yun Chujio lovingly. Shui Wuji secretly used his charm. This move of his was successful every time, stunning countless little girls. He did not believe that this stinky girl could withstand it. Yun Chujia's little heart thumped rapidly. Heavens, this red-robed pervert was really good-looking. Shui Wuji saw that Yun Chujia's eyes were a little lost and he was very proud of himself. How could an ignorant little girl escape his grasp? At that moment Yun Chujia was thinking that since this red-robed pervert was so good-looking, his portrait would definitely sell very well. Not to mention women, there would probably be some men who would go so crazy as to buy it. Shui Wuji and Yun Chujia both revealed a smile of success. Shadow Agent Huahua, who was beside them, broke out in cold sweat. No matter how he looked at it, he felt that these two people were thinking of some cunning ideas. It was better for an honest person like him to stay away from them. Although the two of them had different thoughts in their hearts, it did not hinder their happy mood. Shui Wuji asked again, "Little sister Jiu, what do you want to talk about?" "Brother Wuji, do you really know everything? Then I'll ask you a few small questions. If you can't answer them, you'll pay me 10,000 spirit stones for each question. If you can answer them, I'll pay you 10,000 spirit stones." "Brother Wuji, do you dare to accept?" Shui Wuji pretended to be cool as he flipped his hair. "Why not? You can ask. Did the chicken or egg come first?" Yun Chujio tilted her small head and asked seriously. Shui Wuji sneered disdainfully. "Of course there's a chicken. Only with a chicken will an egg be born. Such a simple question. You can even think of the answer with your toes, okay? Little sister Jiu, can you give me more difficult questions?" "Brother Wuji, where did the chicken come from?" "Chicken? The chicken naturally comes from an egg." Shui Wuji was stunned after he said that. The chicken laid eggs and the egg gave birth to the chicken. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? "Brother Wuji, it seems that you already know that your answer is wrong. Give me the spirit stones." Yun Chujio stretched out her small claws with a smile. After Shui Wuji transferred the spirit stones to Yun Chujio, he snorted coldly. "It's just that I was careless. Let's go again. If we use a winter melon or stone to hit Wawa's head, which would hurt more?" "Ha, of course it's the stone. Do you even need to ask that?" Shui Wuji was full of confidence this time. He was sure that he was right this time. "Wrong. It's Wawa's head that hurts more. Give me the spirit stones." Shui Wuji was speechless. They were all carefully selected young ladies, and for the sake of a spot to participate in the banquet, they would fight to death for it. Furthermore, little sister Jiu, that mother of Di Biming, is a famous old shrew. She would never agree to let you marry him. When the time comes, she might even take your life. Indifferent. My mother died a long time ago and my father doesn't care about me at all. As long as you agree, I'll marry you tomorrow. You'd be the young madam of the demon blood sect." Shui Wuji said. He looked at Yun Chujia with deep affection. Yun Chujia was stunned at first. Then she covered her mouth and ran into the house, trembling. Sob, sob, "Brother Wuji, I'm so sad. I didn't expect the gigolo to lie to me." Sob, sob, "You go first. We'll talk another day." Shui Wuji was very proud. He held back his joy and shouted, "Little sister Jiu, don't be sad. It's not worth it for that bastard. Brother will come to see you tomorrow." Yun Chujia's sobbing voice came from the house. "Sob, sob, Brother Wuji, you better come back in a couple days instead. I need to calm down." Sob, sob. "Okay. Little sister Jiu, you mustn't be too sad. You still have me. Believe then." Shui Wuji floated away. Chapter 411. This young master will make your life a living hell. Huahua, how was that? I told you my charm is boundless, right? That stinky girl is already disappointed in Di Biming. I just need to work harder and take advantage of the situation. This little girl will be in my grasp. Shui Wuji's mood was extremely fantastic at that moment. Losing some spirit stones was nothing. As long as he could get his hands on the little girl, Di Biming would definitely suffer a huge blow. Shadow Agent Huahua held it in, but in the end he could not hold it in anymore. "Young master, don't you think that the little girl's attitude has changed too quickly? I feel that she's probably lying to you again." "Nonsense. Are you saying I can't even tell if she's lying to me or not?" He was so sad that she was trembling. How could she be lying to me? Moreover, I'm not inferior to that facial paralysis and I was so good to the little girl. I deliberately lost so many spirit stones to her. How could she not be moved? Shadow Agent Hua Hua was already powerless to retort. Why was he even trying? Forget it. I see that you've tried your best but was still cheated by the little girl. It's really strange. You're usually so smart, but why do you become like a fool when you meet the little girl? Okay, in order to prove that I am right, let's sneak back and see the little girl's reaction. I will convince you wholeheartedly. Xue Wuji was actually a little suspicious about what Shadow Agent Hua Hua said, so he decided to go back and take a look. The two of them activated the concealment talisman and went to Yun Chujia's small courtyard again. They saw Yun Chujio sitting on the recliner happily, nibbling on the spirit fruit while chatting with the rolling pin next to her. Little Flame, how was that? Your master cheated that black chicken out of 270,000 spirit stones again. He wants to lie to me with that IQ? It's simply a dream. Master, is what he said about the gigolo true? So what if it's true? I'm marrying the gigolo, not his mother. Besides, I can handle the gigolo, what's more his mother. If I don't pretend to be sad, the black chicken head won't leave. Jiske marry him? I'd rather become a nun than marry him. He's like a rooster in heat. Oh no. He's a black chicken in heat. Ha. Shadow Agent Hua Hua saw that his young master's hair standing on its end, perfectly explaining what it meant to be in a fit of rage. This little girl's words are really too sarcastic. A rooster in heat? Don't even talk about the young master's narcissism. Even this confident young master can't take it. Xue Wuji had obviously suffered a huge blow. He had always thought that his charm was boundless. Even though he had faced challenges with Yun Chujio a few times, he did not think much of it. He felt that it was because she got to know Di Biming first. Once she got to know him, she would definitely change her mind. Who would have thought that this stinky girl had been toying with him? She deserved to die. Yun Chujio felt her scalp go numb. She quickly took out the defensive spiritual weapon from her storage ring, but it was already too late. The furious Xue Wuji raised his hand, and Yun Chujio was imprisoned on the spot. The spiritual weapon on Yun Chujio's body had an active defensive function. It would only be activated when it encountered an attack. Xue Wuji had only imprisoned her, so those spiritual weapons were not activated. As expected of the skull that I've taken a fancy to. How cunning. You actually dare to lie to me. Black chicken head. Black chicken in heat? Little girl, you're the first person who dares to mock me like that. Very well, I will not kill you. I want to let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. At that moment, Xue Wuji no longer had his usual cheeky appearance. His eyes were scarlet red, just like an Azura from hell. Chapter 4:12. You are my money tree. At that moment, Yun Chujio only had one sentence in her mind: disaster comes from the mouth. Who would have thought that the black chicken's head would come back? What should she do? Yun Chujio thought about what she had said, but there was no way to clear her name. She could not say that the black chicken in heat was a positive term, right? This time she was really courting death. Aren't you usually very talkative? Why aren't you speaking now? Xue Wuji stared at Yun Chujio fiercely. Damn it. She was really detestable. If it was not for Di Biming, he would definitely strangle this stinky girl to death. Cough cough. Brother Wuji, are you really angry? Sometimes I say bad things about the gigolo behind his back, but he doesn't get angry when he catches me. You're more open-minded than him, so you won't get angry at me, right? Yun Chujio said pitifully. Humph. Don't do this to me. Xue Wuji raised his hand and hit the back of Yun Chujio's neck. Yun Chujio fainted. Xue Wuji turned to the southwest corner and said, Enfeng, if you don't want this stupid girl to die, don't follow us. Otherwise, I'll kill her directly. Enfeng was on the verge of collapse. Xue Wuji and his companion had used their concealment talismans, so he did not notice their arrival. Moreover, he was no match for Xue Wuji at all. After Xue Wuji finished speaking, he signaled Shadow Agent Hua Hua. Hua Hua raised his hand and a thick smoke enveloped the small courtyard. When Enfeng wanted to chase after them again, Xue Wuji and his company were already long gone. Enfeng was so anxious that he was about to cry. First, he took out his sound transmission talisman and sent a message to Di Biming. Then he left Spirit Radiance Sect to search for traces of Xue Wuji. When Yun Chujio woke up, she found herself in a large cage. Through the gap of the cage, she found that it was an extremely luxurious room. The roof was inlaid with several huge luminous pearls. The floor was covered with a snow-white carpet, and the furniture was also made of expensive dark-patterned pine wood. Yun Chujio saw no one in the room. She moved her body and found that the confinement had been lifted. However, she could not use her spiritual power. Yun Chujio carefully observed the material of the cage and kicked twice, but there was no reaction at all. Stupid girl, don't waste your energy. This cage is made of ancient black iron, and it functions to confine spiritual power. If the key isn't used, not to mention you, even D-Biming would not be able to open it. Shui Wuji had changed into a bright red brocade robe. He walked in barefooted. Yun Chujio did not say anything. Since she was already captured, it was useless to say anything else. It seemed that this black chicken's head only wanted to torture her, not take her life. Otherwise, he would have strangled her to death. Stupid girl, don't worry. I won't kill you. I'll torture you slowly. When you are half dead from the torture, I'll use you to find that expressionless D-Biming to exchange for some spirit stones and flowers. Didn't you cheat me of a few million low-grade spirit stones? I'll ask D-Biming for 100 million high-grade spirit stones. In the future, when I'm in need of spirit stones, I'll go to Spirit Radiant Sect to capture you and then find D-Biming to exchange for spirit stones. In the future, you'll be my money tree. Ha! Yun Chujio sat cross-legged on the ground, still not saying a word. Stupid girl, are you mute? Speak. If you don't speak, I'll let a snake in and bite you to death. Shui Wuji had taken off his previous disguise, revealing his ruthless and evil personality. Didn't you say that I'm a money tree? A tree naturally won't speak. Yun Chujio said lightly. Shui Wuji narrowed his eyes. It seems that I've been too kind to you in the past. You still don't know how powerful I am. Hua Hua, bring my little pets here. Chapter 413. Childish and stupid. Shadow Agent Hua Hua dragged a huge crystal coffin and walked in. Inside the crystal coffin were 5 gold-ringed snakes with long tongues. Their sharp fangs were emitting a cold light under the reflection of the crystal. Shui Wuji smiled at Yun Chujio. Stupid girl, isn't my pet so very beautiful? Do you want to hear the truth or lies? How would you lie? And how would you be truthful? Shui Wuji threw a wind-blade rabbit into the coffin, and it was instantly eaten up by the gold-ringed snakes. If I was lying, I would say that they're beautiful. If I was telling the truth, I would say, hee. These snakes are equally as showy as you. I'm just afraid that some people don't know how much of a show-off they are, dressing like a black chicken in heat. Yun Chujio pouted and said, damn it. Since they already had a fallout with each other, he would not believe her even if she said it nicely. She might as well say whatever she wanted to say out loud. Moreover, if he was angered, she might have a chance to escape. Shui Wuji was so angry that he laughed. Good. As expected of a skull that I've taken a fancy to. You have guts. Then let these gold-ringed snakes play with you. Hua Hua, open the coffin lid. Young master, these gold-ringed snakes are extremely poisonous. If Yun Chujio is bitten, she will probably die. Shadow Agent Hua Hua was a little hesitant. If he really killed Yun Chujio, D-Biming would definitely go crazy. At that time, their blood demon sect might not be able to withstand the anger of people from the Temple of Immortals. Stop talking nonsense. Put it in. At most, we can just feed her the detox pill. When Shui Wuji thought of how he had been teased by Yun Chujio repeatedly like a fool, he was almost driven mad. Shadow Agent Hua Hua grinned. Their young master was a lunatic. The detoxification pill was a grade 10 pill. What was he trying to do? Could it be that he just wanted to see Yun Chujio panic and scream? Shadow Agent Hua Hua had no choice but to open the lid of the crystal coffin. The gold-ringed snake was a Tier 5 demonic beast. It had the instinct to seek benefits and avoid harm. When they saw Shui Wuji and Shadow Agent Hua Hua's spiritual power, they naturally chose Yun Chujio, who was in the cage. The 5 gold-ringed snakes quickly crawled toward Yun Chujio's cage. Shui Wuji looked at Yun Chujio with a cold smile. Stupid girl, you will soon pay the price for your stupidity. Don't worry, I will not let you die from the poison. At most, I'll make you swell up like a pig. When the time comes, I will give D-Biming a surprise. Yun Chujio looked at Shui Wuji with contempt, and then she hid in a corner of the cage. Childish. Stupid. Shui Wuji was so angry that he gritted his teeth. I'll see if you're still stubborn later. At this time, the 5 gold-ringed snakes had already crawled into the cage through the gaps. One of them stuck out its tongue and chomped down in Yun Chujio's direction. Yun Chujio sneered. Although these gold-ringed snakes were at tier 5, they were just ordinary poisonous snakes in this cage. For Yun Chujio, who was a special agent in her previous life, it was a piece of cake. Yun Chujio grabbed the 7 inches of the snake and smashed its head against the bars of the cage. The cage was made of a special material. With just one hit, the gold-ringed snake was dead. At that moment, the remaining 4 snakes also crawled toward Yun Chujio. She used the gold-ringed snake as a whip and lashed it toward the other 4 snakes. Yun Chujio's lashes landed on the snake. These gold-ringed snakes suddenly lost their spiritual power and their movements were not as fast as usual. In response to their whole 7 inches of existence being lashed, they were stunned for a moment. Yun Chujio followed the same method and looked for an opportunity to kill the 4 snakes. Black chicken head, take these snakes to stew snake soup. Yun Chujio smiled coldly, picked up a snake and threw it toward Shui Wuji. Chapter 414. It will never be too late for little Jiao to get revenge. Shui Wuji and Shadow Agent Huahua were dumbfounded. They had imagined countless scenarios such as Yun Chujio crying and begging for mercy, Yun Chujio fainting from fright, or Yun Chujio fainting after being bitten by a gold-ringed snake. However, who could have predicted that those gold-ringed snakes would be dead before anything happened to Yun Chujio? Was Yun Chujio's spiritual power not already restrained? Why was she still so agile? Shui Wuji dodged the 5 snakes with a flash in his eyes. Damn girl, you have some skills. However, I have many ways to deal with you. For example, I could starve you to death. Huh? Don't you love eating? I will starve you. Huahua, host a feast. Shadow Agent Huahua was speechless at his young master's childish behavior. He immediately prepared a sumptuous feast. Shui Wuji deliberately placed the table in front of the cage and began to eat slowly. Stinky little girl, are you hungry? Do you want to eat? Yun Chujio simply turned around and did not look at Shui Wuji. However, the aroma of the dishes and wine kept finding its way into her nose. She tore a strip from her clothes and made it into a simple mask so that she could not smell it. Seeing that Yun Chujio turned around and did not look at him, Shui Wuji started to eat while shouting, "Tiskti, this red braised meat is soft and glutinous. It tastes really good. This meatball is fried until it's crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. You want more after eating one. This steamed fish is even more delicious. It's simply superb." Yun Chujio simply covered her ears. However, all kinds of delicacies flashed through her mind. Braised pork, steamed fish, hot pot, steamed buns, dumplings. Yun Chujio cursed Shui Wuji in her heart a few hundred times. Damn, he was just like a gigolo. They were all bad people using delicacies to seduce her. Yun Chujio's stomach rumbled. Oh my god, could this damned black chicken starve me the whole time? Coincidentally, that was Shui Wuji's plan. After all, she would not starve to death from not eating for 3 days. Hence, he only gave Yun Chujio some water every day and did not give her any other food. Yun Chujio's eyes were blue with hunger. She hated Shui Wuji in her heart. Black chicken head, just you wait. It will never be too for me, little Jiao, to get my revenge. Sooner or later I'll get you. Yun Chujio was so hungry that she thought she saw a flatbread wrap when she looked at the bars of the cage. The woolen blanket on the ground looked like cotton candy. Just as Yun Chujio was considering whether the woolen blanket could be eaten, she heard Shui Wuji's wild laughter. Di Biming, I didn't expect you to come so quickly. Yun Chujio, that wretched girl has been locked in the demon trapping cage by me. You wouldn't be able to release her without the key in my hands. Yun Chujio's heart skipped a beat. The gigolo is here? Just as he finished speaking, Shui Wuji and Di Biming walked in, followed by Enfeng and Shadow Agent Huahua. Prince Charming. This shameless black chicken is starving me to death. Quickly throw some food in for me. Yun Chujio felt that Di Biming was akin to an angel with wings at that moment. She definitely would not seek trouble with the gigolo in the future. When Di Biming saw Yun Chujio being locked in the cage and heard her words, the murderous aura on his body was so thick that it made people suffocate. Shui Wuji, do you take my words for granted? Di Biming, I didn't hit her or kill her. I just invited her over as a guest. As long as you give me 100 million high-grade spirit stones, I will release her immediately. Shui Wuji was fearless. Besides, Yun Chujio was in his hands, so Di Biming would not dare to do anything to him. Chapter 4:15. I have never been threatened by anyone. Hey Prince Charming, stop talking nonsense with him. I'm starving to death. Yun Chujio saw that Di Baiming did not throw anything over for her to eat and immediately became anxious. Di Baiming saw that Yun Chujio was angry and in pain. He had warned her not to provoke Xue Wuji, but she refused to listen. It was one thing if you provoked him, but you actually said bad things behind his back and let him catch you doing it. The only person who dared to say that Xue Wuji was like a black chicken in heat was Yun Chujio. Di Baiming threw a bottle of fasting pills to Yun Chujio and said to Xue Wuji, Xue Wuji, do you think that I can be blackmailed? Xue Wuji laughed out loud. Di Baiming, do you mean that you don't want to save this stinky girl? Stinky girl, did you hear that? Di Baiming doesn't really like you at all. He chose 100 million high-grade spirit stones over you. You're really pitiful. Yun Chujio swallowed 2 fasting pills and her stomach instantly felt better. After hearing Xue Wuji's words, she pursed her lips. Chicken brain, I told you that there's something wrong with your IQ, but you still don't believe me. My Prince Charming said that he won't be threatened by others. It's not that he doesn't want to save me. You can't even understand what he's saying. You're so dense. Xue Wuji was so angry that he gritted his teeth and said, Di Baiming, I've already given you face by not killing this stinky girl. If you aren't willing to exchange spirit stones for her, he'll smack her to death right now. And Feng's eyes were about to cramp up on him. Miss Ju, you've already been captured, so please stop. What if Xue Wuji gets angry out of humiliation and really smacks you to death? Xue Wuji, are you planning to use little Jiu to threaten me again and again in the future? Di Baiming asked coldly. Xue Wuji's eyes flickered. Di Baiming, cut the crap. I'm asking if you agree to exchange spirit stones for this stinky girl? Di Baiming took out a voice transmission talisman, and the corners of his mouth curled up. Xue Wuji, I've thought that the 3 sects of Tianyuan continent was good enough. If you insist on provoking me, then there's no need for your blood demon sect to exist. Xue Wuji felt inexplicably uneasy. Di Baiming, what are you implying by taking out the voice transmission talisman? What are you going to do? Before I came, I arranged for a few people to visit your blood demon sect's blood demon pool. If you insist on making things difficult for little Jiu, he'll give the order to blow it up. Don't you think that would be very interesting? Xue Wuji was stunned at first before he laughed out loud. Di Baiming, do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? Whatever you say. Xue Wuji's words were interrupted by the vibrating voice transmission talisman in his storage ring. Young Master. Young Master. The people from the Temple of Immortals have captured all of our people. They said that they're going to blow up our blood demon pool. Xue Wuji's expression immediately changed. Di Baiming, how did you do that? Xue Wuji, I'm just not interested in destroying your blood demon sect. It's not that I can't. So, if you dare to touch little Jiu again in the future, he'll make the blood demon sect disappear from the Tianyuan continent. Xue Wuji's expression changed a few times. Suddenly he smiled. Tisk, Brother Baiming, I was just making a harmless joke. I saw that little sister Jiu was feeling stifled at Spirit Radiance sect, so I brought her out to relax. I was also afraid that her spiritual power was too low and she would be in danger, so I used the demon trapping cage to protect her. No one can hurt little sister Jiu. Isn't this very funny? Without waiting for Di Baiming to speak, Yun Chujio, who was in the cage, laughed. Brother Wuji is really too funny. Since it's a joke, then let me go. Let's drink and chat together. Chapter 4:16. I will kill you. Xue Wuji did not expect Yun Chujio to be so easy. He took out the key and opened the cage. Little sister Jiu, you're so reasonable. I'll definitely treat you well. Yun Chujio moved her limbs and suddenly waved at Xue Wuji. Several bolts of lightning flashed. I'll fucking kill you. Did I tell you to catch me? Did I tell you to get the snake to bite me? Did I tell you not to feed me? Prince Charming, help me beat him up. Xue Wuji did not dare to fight back. He was afraid that Di Baiming would really blow up the blood demon pool, so he could only dodge desperately. Little sister Jiu. Little sister Jiu. Please stop. It's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding my ass. How about I try to lock you in a cage too? And I'll try releasing a few snakes to bite you too. How about I starve you for 3 days? Yun Chujio chased after Xue Wuji and continuously struck him with lightning. Although Xue Wuji's spiritual power was much higher than Yun Chujio's, He did not dare to fight back with the presence of a great booth-like being, Di Biming. The room was only so big, so he was having a hard time being chased by Yun Chujio. Brother Biming, quickly make little sister Jiu stop. Stop. Let's talk. Shui Wuji shouted at the top of his voice. Di Biming saw that he was at his end's wits, so he said, Little Jiu, come here. Yun Chujio glared at Shui Wuji with hatred. Then she walked up to Di Biming and said, Prince Charming, this black chicken is really too hateful. Not only did he lock me in a cage, he even used a snake to bite me. The most hateful thing he did was that he didn't give me any food. And Feng's eyes twitched. Miss Jiu, you are indeed different from the rest. Shouldn't the most annoying thing for a normal person be a snake bite? What you care about the most is that he didn't give you food. Di Biming looked at Shui Wuji. Shui Wuji, what are you going to do? Shui Wuji's eyes flickered. Brother Biming, this is all a misunderstanding. Since the misunderstanding has been resolved, we are still friends. Can we release the people from the blood demon pool? Tui. Who is friends with you, black chicken? You've caused huge mental distress to me. If you don't compensate us with 100 million high-grade spirit stones today, there's no need for us to discuss any further. Yun Chujio now had a big backer, so she was very smug. Fuck. Black chicken ash asterisk glue, I won't let you off today. That little sister Jiu is really humorous. This matter is my fault, but 100 million high-grade spirit stones is too much. How about 10,000? Shui Wuji gritted his teeth. You stinky girl, why didn't you get bitten to death by a snake? Prince Charming, actually, there's no need for that blood demon sect to exist. Just blow it up. 100,000 spirit stones. Chapter 417. Integrity was no longer needed. Shui Wuji squeezed out a word from between his teeth. Send it. Then I want trouble, brother Wuji. I'll just dig it out myself. I usually don't trouble others when I can do things myself. Yun Chujio sat on the chopping board. She used a small dagger to dig out all the luminous pearls on the roof. Oh, and she left one for Shui Wuji in the end. Otherwise, she would not be able to see anything in the house. After Yun Chujio flew down, she looked at the carpet on the floor. She cut off a large piece with her dagger and rolled it up into her storage ring. These few pieces of furniture look good too. Brother Wuji, do you mind if I borrow them for a few days? Shui Wuji clenched his fist and loosened it. He squeezed out an answer with great difficulty, I don't mind. Thus, Yun Chujio kept a few pieces of furniture in her storage ring. Finally, she took a look at the demon trapping cage. Shui Wuji's heart trembled. He quickly kept the demon trapping cage in his storage ring. Little sister Jiu, I've refined this before. I can't give it to you. Yun Chujio curled her lips. I didn't say I wanted it. Talking to me as if I'm a thief. Seriously. Prince Charming, let's go. There's nothing good in this room anyway. Brother Wuji, see you later. After Yun Chujio and the other two left, Shui Wuji clutched his chest and howled, Hua, my heart hurts. Yun Chujio. Di Biming. I'm not done with you guys. My 10 million high-grade spirit stones. My illuminating pearl. My snow cashmere carpet. My furniture. Shadow Agent Hua was speechless. It was all your fault, okay? Why did you have to flirt with that little girl? Now that Di Biming had handled the situation, then only do you regret it. Hua. A year ago I was still on par with Di Biming. How did he become so powerful all of a sudden? Young master, am equally as confused. Could it be that he had an opportunity or a hidden illness in the past? Shui Wuji's eyes rolled around and suddenly his eyes lit up. Recently, the only variable is that stinky girl, Yun Chujio. Do you think that Di Biming's sudden strength has something to do with that girl? Young master, what you said makes sense. Shadow Agent Hua thought for a while and felt that his young master was right. Why would Di Biming take a fancy to Yun Chujio? There must be a reason behind it. Shui Wuji took out the skull and played with it for a while. Suddenly, he said, since it has something to do with that girl, I will reluctantly continue to get close to her. With my intelligence, I will definitely be able to find some clues. Shadow Agent Hua really wanted to help Shui Wuji recall how he was tricked by Yun Chujio a few times. However, for the sake of his own life, he swallowed his words. Achoo. Damn it. The black chicken must be speaking ill of me. Yun Chujio, who was on the flying spiritual device, sneezed twice. Di Biming sat on the chair at the side without even lifting his eyes. as if he did not hear her words. Yunchujio cursed in her heart, "Gigolo. You tsundere. Why are you pretending to be cold? Are you waiting for me to apologize?" "Humph. I didn't do anything wrong, why should I apologize?" However, when Yunchujio thought of the 10 million high-grade spirit stones that Xue Wuji had just compensated, she immediately threw away her integrity. This fellow eagerly walked up to Di Baiming and said, "Prince Charming, are you still angry at me? After I was caught by Xue Wuji, I thought that I was going to die. At that time the only thing that I couldn't let go of was you, Prince Charming." Di Baiming did not say anything, but he raised his eyebrows slightly. When Yunchujio saw this, she said, "Prince Charming, you said that we've been through a lot and we broke up just because of a few words. Isn't that making a big deal out of nothing? Moreover, if you had told me properly, would I not have listened to you? Am I an unreasonable person? You even pushed me down. My back still hurts from it." Chapter 418. Turned back into a tsundere, Gigolo and Feng, who was piloting the flying spirit tool, almost burst out laughing. "Miss Jiu, you're too good at bullshitting. I saw that you were alive and kicking when you were taking the illuminating pearl. Why are you in pain now?" The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched slightly, but he still did not speak. Yunchujio saw that Di Baiming was still ignoring her. She rolled her eyes and said with a cheeky smile, "Prince Charming, do you want me to kiss you so that you will forgive me?" "Oh. Close your eyes and cover your ears. I'm going to kiss your highness." "Nonsense. Don't read those dirty things anymore." Di Baiming could not bear to listen anymore. Yunchujio made a victory sign in her heart. "Little boy, no matter how arrogant you are, I can take you down. Prince Charming, I remember that a year ago you were injured by that black chicken, right? Why is he so afraid of you now?" Yunchujio asked in puzzlement. "Miss Jiu, firstly, our lord has the cold poison on him, and secondly, Xue Wuji is full of tricks. That's why he was ambushed by Xue Wuji. Now that our lord has gotten rid of the cold poison, he naturally doesn't worry about Xue Wuji anymore." And Feng then added in his heart, "Also, our lord has become a lot more cunning in the process of fighting with you, hasn't he?" Yunchujio bared her little white teeth. "Prince Charming, so the reason why you're so powerful is because of me. If it wasn't for my blood, how could your cold poison be removed so quickly? So, if I make any mistakes in the future, don't worry about me for the sake of the blood." The corners of Di Baiming's mouth curled into a non-committal smile. When he went back, he had thought it through. For a person who could show off like the black thing, he had to do both. He could not let her do as she pleased, or else she would be able to ascend to heaven. "Prince Charming, if you can destroy the blood demon sect, why do you still keep it?" Yunchujio asked in confusion. The situation in the Tianyuan continent is complicated. Maintaining the current situation is for the best. Moreover, the blood demon sect is not as simple as it looks. I said that I would destroy them just to intimidate them. If it was so simple to destroy the blood demon sect, why would I let Xue Wuji off so easily? Di Baiming explained. "Ah, so that's how it is. But it doesn't matter, it'll become stronger sooner or later. When that time comes, I'll lock that black chicken in the cage and release the snakes to bite him every day while starving him to death," Yunchujio said fiercely. Yunchujio continued to ramble on and then came to the main topic. "Prince Charming, can you transfer the spirit stones that the black chicken compensated me with to me?" Di Baiming raised his eyebrows. "Compensate you?" "Yes, that 10 million high-grade spirit stones is what that chicken compensated me for my mental damage." Yunchujio had an ominous feeling in her heart. Could it be that the gigolo is going to keep it all for himself? Di Baiming looked at her deeply. "If I don't save you, do you think Xue Wuji will compensate you with spirit stones? Transfer it to you? It's already good enough that I didn't ask you to hand over the illuminating pearl." Yunchujio was dumbfounded. The gigolo had turned back into a tsundere gigolo again. She had only been in charge for a few days, but she was suddenly tormented because of a few storybooks. If God gave her a second chance, she would definitely not read those storybooks. But seeing that the spirit stones were not going to her, Yunchujio could not be bothered to please Di Baiming anymore. She pouted, took out a quilt and laid it on the ground to sleep. Di Baiming wanted to coax Yunchujio a few times, but after thinking about it, he still did not move. He had to establish his authority in front of the black thing, or else she would definitely take advantage of him. Chapter 419. I am not greedy at all. The next morning, Di Biming brought Yun Chujio to Spirit Radiance sect. The sect was in a mess because of Yun Chujio's disappearance. However, only Yun Chuzi, the other disciples and the higher-ups of Spirit Radiance sect knew about Yun Chujio's disappearance. Master Xianyuan and the others found a half-eaten spirit fruit on the ground in Yun Chujio's courtyard. There were also the footprints of 3 other people on the ground. They immediately knew that the situation was not good. Little Gio must have been taken away by someone. The Heavenly Gates sect was the main suspect. However, after sending people to investigate, they found that there was nothing unusual going on around them. They also sent people to investigate the Bixiao Palace and the Immortal Sword sect. However, they did not find anything unusual. Everyone was puzzled who had taken little Gio away. After the 3 of them activated the concealment talisman, they went straight to Yun Chujio's courtyard. I'm going to see the sect leader. You guys can play by yourselves. Yun Chujio saw that Di Biming had no intention of coaxing her, so she started acting arrogantly too. Okay. Di Biming agreed and entered the house. Hey, you big head. Damn it, can't you say 2 more words? Sundar, just you wait. Sooner or later I will make you an obedient wife-slave. Yun Chujio sat on the chopping board and walked around Yun Chu's courtyard. Before she could say anything, she was dragged to the meeting hall by Elder Chu. Little Gio, where have you been these past few days? We were so worried. As soon as she entered the meeting hall, Elder Chu asked impatiently. I was taken away by that red-clothed pervert, and then my Prince Charming saved me. Red-clothed pervert? The red-clothed pervert who stole the witch hazel fruit the last time? Yes, that's him. That bastard locked me up in a cage and even released snakes to bite me. The most infuriating thing was that he starved me for 3 days. If it wasn't for my Prince Charming, I would have died. Sob sob. Dear sect leader, the last time I offended this red-clothed pervert was to protect the sect's property. I really gave my all for our Spirit Radiance sect. Yun Chujio decided to take what was lost. She could not get any spirit stones from the gigolo, but she could get some compensation from little Xianyuan. Young Master D is here? Where is he? When Sect Master Xianyuan saw Yun Chujio's posture, he knew that this fellow was going to extort them again, so he quickly changed the topic. He's in my dormitory. Dear Sect Master, can you give me 2 tokens? Otherwise, every time my Prince Charming and Infong comes, I have to sneak them in. Master Xianyuan, I've been so hungry these few days that I feel dizzy. Do you have anything good to supplement me with? If I don't, I won't even have the strength to release the fire spirit beast. Humph. Trying to change the topic? It won't work. The corner of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched violently. He could only say, a few days ago Fairy Yume of Bixiao Palace gave me 10 Bixiao fruits. I'll reward you with 3 to supplement you. There are 2 of us, Prince Charming and I. How are we going to split 3 fruits? If we don't split them evenly, we will have a fight. For fruits. No, wait. 4 is an unlucky number. 5 fruits. But it's not easy to split 5 fruits. Then I'll just take 6 fruits. I'm not being greedy at all. Yun Chujio pretended to count her fingers and said. Everyone wanted to kick her. There were 10 fruits in total. How is it not considered greedy if you took 6 fruits? Would it only be considered so if you took all 10 of them? Yun Chujio was afraid of arousing public anger, so she quickly changed the topic. Sect leader, have you arranged the accommodation for the fire spirit beast? The heat generated by the earth fire cannot be underestimated. The location is very important. Chapter 420. Sprinkling dog food. When everyone heard Yun Chujio's words, they all frowned. Back then, Heavenly Gate sect only had 1 fire spirit beast, so it was easier to handle. If these 9 fire spirit beasts were together, would the sect not become a fire cave? If that was the case, then Spirit Radiance sect would not be habitable. Master Xuanyuan's heart moved. Little Gio, since you have a way to extinguish the earth fire from Heavenly Gate sect, perhaps you can also extinguish a portion of our earth fire too, right? Hehe, Master Xianyuan is so smart. He actually thought of a solution in such a short time. I am truly impressed. The corners of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched. Was she kicking him down then giving him a bandage? When the time comes, he'll get the fire spirit beast to control the scale of the earth fire so that it won't be too hot. In addition, plant some medicinal herbs in the outer area that can absorb the heat of the earth fire. This way we can have an additional share of the income from the herbs. There's no need to share the income from the medicinal herbs with me. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Everyone nodded. Yun Chujio was finally generous this time. Elder Chi secretly pursed his lips. She did not want the income of the medicinal herbs, but the medicinal herbs she gathered in his spirit herb garden were worth much more than that. Little Jio, last time I said that I would hold a banquet to entertain young Master D. After that he had something to do and left. Tonight I will hold a banquet to entertain young Master D. You must invite him to attend. No problem, I'll definitely bring him over for you. Make more delicious food. The roast chicken last time was very good, and the plum blossom cake and golden crispy noodle snacks were also quite delicious. Alright, that braised pork was too sweet last time. This time use less sugar. Master Xinyuan rubbed his forehead. Can I add, Yun Chujio, you don't have to come tonight? Yun Chujio hopped back to the dormitory and told Di Baiming about Master Xuanyuan's invitation. Di Baiming agreed without hesitation. It was a good opportunity to deepen everyone's impression that the black thing belonged to him so that no one would have any devious ideas. In the evening, Yun Chujio and Di Baiming rushed to the banquet hall. Under the setting sun, Di Baiming, who was dressed in white and flying on a sword, instantly became the focus of the crowd. Oh my god, it's young Master D. He's coming to Spirit Radiance Sect again. Young Master D is so charming. I feel like my heart is about to burst. Ah, if I knew young Master D would come today, I would have worn my pink outfit. I'll go back and change now. Is that Yun Chuju next to him? How despicable. She always clings to young Master D. Who else is sitting on the chopping board flying apart from her? How shameless. She accepted our gifts for him last time. I wonder if she handed them over to Master D. Di Baiming and Yun Chujio entered the banquet hall. Master Xianyuan and the others had already arrived. After everyone exchanged a few pleasantries, the banquet began. Yun Chujio buried her head in food and was focused on eating. Di Baiming carefully helped to peel the prawns and pick out the fish bones. In the eyes of Master Xianyuan and the others, not only did this Master D have a high level of spiritual power, he was also deeply in love with little Jio and was also very meticulous. In short, little Jio was really lucky. After the banquet ended and after bidding farewell to everyone, Yun Chujio burped and said, Prince Charming, I'm a little full from eating. Let's walk back. She was thinking in her heart, these lurkers are all staring at my Prince Charming. I want to let you all know that the gigolo is mine, and you all are fucking hopeless. Di Baiming's eyes flickered. He thought that this was a good opportunity to show off and make those who had bad intentions toward little Jio stop. Thus the two of them kept throwing out dog food on the road. They tortured countless single dogs to death. Chapter 421. Yun Chujio's lullaby. Yun Chujio held Di Baiming's arm and asked sweetly, Prince Charming, do you think I'm good looking? Do you think I'm as beautiful as a painting? As lovely as a flower? As refined as precious jade? Exceptionally intelligent. So beautiful and intelligent it moves the hearts of all. Loved by all. Devastatingly gorgeous with beauty capable of captivating even the birds and beasts. A beauty so out of this world. 1. The group of female disciples that tailed them heard Yun Chujio's words and wanted to slap her. They had seen shameless people before, but this was the first time they had seen such a shameless person. Unless young Master D was blind, he would only think that this bony little girl was good-looking. Di Baiming nodded slightly. It was impossible for him to say something like you're really good-looking with his personality. Mum was considered the greatest affirmation. When the female disciples saw that Di Baiming only responded with mum, they felt that young Master D must be very well-mannered and could not bear to hurt her, so they were just perfunctory. Yes, that must be it. Prince Charming, then do you like me? You're not allowed to say mum. If you want to say yes or no, then do it. Yun Chujio raised her small face and asked with a smile. The hearts of the female disciples were in their throats. No. Quickly say no. Young Master D definitely would not like this thick-skinned Yun Chujio. Yes. Di Baiming's low voice was like a sharp sword piercing into the hearts of the female disciples. Impossible. How could young Master D actually like this thick-skinned Yun Chujio? This was impossible. Yun Chujio's face was smiling as brightly as like a flower. From the corner of her eye, she caught a glimpse of those little fairies' grief-stricken expressions. It was simply too satisfying. Damn it, you guys dare to dream about my man. You guys are really gutsy. Prince Charming, are you only going to like me? Yoon Chujia's question was half real, and her heartbeat also slightly accelerated. There are many beautiful things in life, but it is enough to grasp only one of them. Di Biming did not hesitate and said slowly and firmly. Yoon Chujio felt that her heart was about to jump out of her chest, and her face was slightly hot. She quickly covered her face and pointed at the stars in the sky and said, Prince Charming, look at how beautiful the stars in the sky are. Okay. After Di Biming said that, he took out his sword, held Yoon Chujia's waist and wrote on his sword, Little Gio, the stars in the sky are even more beautiful. The girls on the ground were heartbroken when they saw Di Biming and Yoon Chujio leaning against each other on the flying sword and looking at the stars. That young Master Di truly did not like the enchanting beauties like them but liked Yoon Chujio who had neither breasts nor buttocks. There must be something wrong with his eyes. Yoon Chujio and Di Biming sprinkled dog food all the way back to Yoon Chujio's courtyard. After washing up, she climbed to the inner side of the bed and said fawningly, Prince Charming, sing the lullaby. Yes, sing the song Clear Moon, Quiet Winds. 3. Di Biming glanced at her. My throat hurts. I can't sing. Yoon Chujia's small face fell. Who was he kidding? His throat was still hurting? He just didn't want to sing it for her. The gigolo was rebelling. Just now he looked so affectionate outside. It turned out he was just pretending. Idol who said that as long as I'm alive he will sing lullabies for me every day. If I'm tired of that song I'll learn a few new ones. Di Biming's eyes flickered. I did say that but I can't sing today because of my sore throat. I'll sing to you another day when my throat doesn't hurt. You're obviously just looking for an excuse. If you didn't want to sing you don't have to. I'll be fine even without your help. I'll sing to myself. Sing the way you sing the braised pork with skin. Yes, the pork with skin is the main ingredient. The supplementary ingredients are the oil, salt, soy sauce, and brown sugar. Wash the pork with skin, boil it, and fish it out, fish it out, fish it out. Di Biming almost fell off the bed. Black thing, are you kidding me? Recipes can also be used as a lullaby. Chapter 422. Do I look like a bride? Yoon Chujio glanced at him and sang even louder. When the brown sugar bubbles up, put the meat in. After repeating that a few times, Di Biming could not stand it anymore. Shut up. Stop singing. If you don't want to sing for me then I'll just sing myself, okay? Not only do I know the song of braised pork, but I also know the song of dumplings with cabbage stuffing. The dumpling making song goes like this. Flour is the main ingredient, and the supplementary ingredients are the meat, stuffing, and cabbage. In order to not be brainwashed by the demonic music, Di Biming could only say, I'll sing for you, please stop. Yoon Chujio shook her head repeatedly. Isn't your throat hurting? I don't need you, I can sing by myself. I'll be able to fall asleep as I sing. After I sing the song of dumplings I'll sing the song of buns and after I'm done with that I'll sing the song of pies. I know a lot of songs. Di Biming gritted his teeth. It doesn't hurt anymore. Lie down and I'll sing for you. Alright then. I'll force myself to listen to you sing. If your throat is sore don't force yourself. I can even sing the song of steamed fish. Di Biming was afraid that this fellow would sing again, so he quickly began to sing in a low voice. The moon is bright, the wind is calm and the leaves cover the window. Yoon Chujio closed her eyes feeling very proud in her heart. Little brat, I can't control you anymore. If you don't sing a lullaby for me in the future, I will sing a recipe to torture you. The next day after breakfast Yoon Chujio let the 9 fire spirit beasts out for a stroll. Since the gigolo was there she was not afraid that someone would come and snatch it. The 5 little fire spirit beasts were curious about everything they saw. Some were playing on the swing and some were chasing and biting their tails. Among them little number 5 used 2 small front claws to scratch a corner of the yard a few times, and then ate a fruit core. However, no one noticed this. Yoon Chujio was currently considering whether to let number 4 acknowledge her as its master. If she did, she would definitely attract lightning again. Yoon Chujio thought for a moment and decided to let number 4 acknowledge her as its master. So be it if she had to be struck by lightning. After all, she should not miss this opportunity. Number 4, come and acknowledge me as your master. Yoon Chujio drew blood from her index finger and dripped it into fire spirit beast number 4's mouth. Then she began to form a seal. A simple yet complicated pattern of a contract appeared in the air. A moment later the contract was established. As expected, after a while, a dark cloud floated over from the sky. However, no matter how one looked at it, the dark cloud seemed to be unwilling. It trembled and slowly moved toward Yun Chujio's dormitory. Yun Chujio glanced at it. "Prince Charming, let's go to the back of the mountain. We'll be struck again. But this time the dark cloud seems to be very weak." Di Baiming took out a fiery red dress from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chujio. "Try it out. As long as it is not the heavenly lightning like last time, there shouldn't be an issue." Yun Chujio's eyes lit up. "It can prevent lightning? My Prince Charming, you're so great. Do you have a hat? Although there are hair growth pills, it will take a few days to grow to the length of my shoulders." "I can't find the hat, but I found a Phoenix Nirvana immortal handkerchief. You can tie it on your head." Di Baiming handed Yun Chujio a fiery red handkerchief. Yun Chujio ran into the house and changed her clothes. The handkerchief covered her hair, with the knot ends forming two small pigtails behind her head. He jumped out. "My Prince Charming, look at me. I'm all red. Do I look like a bride?" Yun Chujio walked around on the ground. Di Baiming was slightly stunned. He did not expect her to look so good in red. Chapter 423. Mesmerized by her own beauty, Yun Chujio saw that Di Baiming was in a daze and could not help but giggle. "Prince Charming, have you lost your mind looking at me? Haha, don't be embarrassed. Sometimes I can even mesmerize myself by looking at my reflection in the mirror. Why am I so good looking?" And Feng, who was in the corner, almost burst out laughing. "Miss Jiu, and you dare to call Shui Wuji narcissistic? I think you're the more narcissistic one. You even enchanted yourself with a mirror. How narcissistic can you be? What nonsense are you spouting? Let's go." The flirtatious thoughts in Di Baiming's mind were instantly dispelled by Yun Chujio's shameless words. Yun Chujio pursed her lips. "You keep saying that I'm spouting nonsense. How was I spouting nonsense? You're clearly enchanted by my beauty, yet you refuse to admit it." Humph. Yun Chujio ignored Di Baiming's dark expression. She hopped and put the fire spirit beasts into her storage ring. He sat on the chopping board and flew to the back of the mountain. Di Baiming snorted coldly and followed behind Yun Chujio. He planned in his heart that after the lightning strikes were over, he would let the black thing change out of this set of clothes. Otherwise it would attract too much attention. After the two of them reached the back of the mountain, Yun Chujio found an empty space. She pointed at the dark clouds in the sky and shouted, "Hey little dark cloud, just do what you want. If you make my new clothes dirty, I'll give you an earful." The dark clouds in the sky was feeling miserable at that moment. It had not managed to kill this scourge even with such a big formation last time. Hearing that they had to attack her, no one was willing to go. It was unlucky enough to be picked. This scourge was right. Could not kill her anyway. The dark cloud just had to do something as a token and that would suffice. Therefore, after a few scattered strikes, the dark clouds drifted away as if it was escaping. Yun Chujio was a little dumbfounded. It was over just like that. Well, this dark cloud was not bad. The dark cloud finally received a good review. "Prince Charming, let's go. Since it's over, let's go find Master Xianyuan to look at the new residences for the fire spirit beasts." Yun Chujio held Di Baiming's arm and said with a smile, "Well, okay. But you should change your clothes." "Why? Doesn't this look nice? It looks festive and fits my lively character." Yun Chujio was very satisfied with this set of clothes. The gigolo's taste was not bad. Cough. "This set of clothes is of the immortal artifact level. Aren't you afraid that you'll be punished for wearing a treasure? Why don't you put the sect uniform on outside so that people won't covet it?" Di Baiming said seriously. When Yun Chujio heard this, she immediately felt that it made sense. The gigolo was right. One should not reveal one's wealth. It would be bad if others were to covet it. Thus, Yun Chujio put the sect uniform on the outside of this set of clothes. The Phoenix Nirvana immortal handkerchief on her head was put into her storage ring. Only then did she and Di Baiming go to see Master Xianyuan. The fire spirit beast's residence was located at the back mountain of Zhang Peak. Firstly, there was a mineral vein here. Secondly, it was quite far from the back of Middle Peak. This was to prevent Yun Chujio from being struck by lightning. Thirdly, the terrain there was suitable for setting up guards. Yun Chujio felt satisfied after checking the area and released the 9 fire spirit beasts. The 5 small beasts were reluctant to part with her until Yun Chujio promised to come and play with them whenever she had time and give them delicious food. Only then did they enter the cave. Master Xinyuan, we can now spread the news of the fire spirit beast descending from the sky. Remember, we only have 1 fire spirit beast. When the time comes, the supply of earth fire should be limited, especially for the Heavenly Gates sect. If they don't give us 1/10 of the share of the spirit stones, we won't sell them even 1 piece of earth fire. Master Xinyuan nodded. Dugai, that old thing would definitely act shamelessly. However, he was unlucky to have met little Gio. Chapter 425. To pick an old man to be your father's sect leader. Dugai. Is the fire spirit beast of Heavenly Gates sect male or female? What color is its fur? What does it look like? What is its age? Dugai opened his mouth and said, This fire spirit beast has a violent temperament. We've never seen its true appearance, but it's at least 2,000 years old. Sect leader Dugai, it's as if you didn't say anything. According to what you said, doesn't it mean that all fire spirit beasts of Qingxian continent can be said to be the one that your sect lost? You should at least say something unique, right? Otherwise, how can you prove that this one is the one that you lost? You can't lose your father and then pick some other old man to be your father, right? Boom. Everyone burst into laughter. This little girl's words were really interesting. Sect leader Dugai had been scolded badly this time. Dugai's face was livid with anger. He wished that he could slap Yun Chujio to death with 1 palm, but under everyone's watchful eyes he could not make a move. He could only grit his teeth and say, Yun Chujio, be merciful with your words. Although we've never seen the appearance of a fire spirit beast, we can occasionally hear its cries. We have recorded it with a sound stone. You can bring out your fire spirit beast and make it cry out a couple times. We can compare it. Sect leader Dugai, didn't you say that your fire spirit beast has a violent temperament? How would we be able to carry it out? If we can, it means that its temperament is docile, so it isn't your fire spirit beast. Why are you contradicting yourself? Maybe you gave the fire spirit beast some medicine and made it docile and obedient. Dugai stuttered when he was questioned by Yun Chujio. He hated Yun Chujio with all his heart. This wretched girl had such a sharp tongue. She was really difficult to deal with. Sect leader Dugu really has many evil tricks. He actually thought of giving the fire spirit beast medicine. Could it be because you want to give sedatives to the fire spirit beast? Maybe the fire spirit beast thought, I can't stay in such a wicked sect, so she ran back to the fire cave. The expression on Yun Chujio's little face was very vivid. The onlookers were all amused. Most of them did not know Yun Chujio, so they asked each other in a low voice, Who is this little girl? This little girl was only 14 or 15 years old and she looked pretty good. However, her spiritual power was too low as she was only at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. It seemed that she was very favored in Spirit Radiance sect. Otherwise, how could she have any say in such an important occasion? Dugai was a little embarrassed and angry by the crowd's laughter. Yun Chujio cut the crap. Either you bring out the fire spirit beast or we go to Spirit Radiance sect's Earth Fire Cave together. In short, when we hear the fire spirit beast's cry, we'll know whether it's the one from our sect. Sect leader Dugai, you said that you've lived for hundreds of years in vain. Isn't the cry of demon beasts from the same species more or less the same? A tiger's roar, a wolf's howl, an ape's cry, a horse's neigh, a lion's roar, a dog's bark. Even if it's not the fire spirit beast from Heavenly Gates sect, the cry must be more or less the same. You're not trying to deceive me because I'm young, are you? You're really disrespecting your elders. Dugai's face was as red as a tomato. However, there was nothing wrong with what Yun Chujio said. The cries of the same type of demon beast were almost the same, so his explanation really could not hold up. Dugai sneered, Little girl, although you're eloquent and eloquent, a small part of the fire spirit beast's tail was cut off by the sword when it was captured. As long as Spirit Radiance sect summons the fire spirit beast, everyone will know who's lying. Oh my god, this is bad. There's actually a mark. Didn't they say that no one in Heavenly Gate sect has seen that fire spirit beast before? Yun Chujio felt that she had said something wrong and quickly covered her mouth. Yun Chujio counted with her fingers for a while, and only when Du Gai impatiently urged her did she say, "How about 1/10 of the spirit stones?" Du Gai was so angry that he was twitching. "You really dare to ask for it? Just because we disturbed the fire spirit beast snap, you want us to pay 1/10 of your sect's ownership of spirit stones? Little girl, you're making trouble for no reason. If you continue like this, we'll just barge in." Du Gai's patience was exhausted and his attitude became domineering. "Alright then, 10 million low-grade spirit stones it is. If you don't agree, then you can just go ahead and try to barge in. Spirit Radiance sect isn't to be trifled with." Du Gai thought for a moment. Although 10 million spirit stones was not a small amount, it was not too much. It was better to end the battle quickly. "Alright. I promise you. If this fire spirit beast tail is not broken, I will compensate Spirit Radiance sect with 10 million low-grade spirit stones." Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. "Sect leader Du Gai, you won't go back on your word, right?" "Humph. I've always kept my word and never went back on it," Du Gai said with a cold smile. "Well, don't go back on your word then. You'll lose a lot if you do," Yun Chujio said with a smile. Where did the anxiety from just now went? Chapter 427. Am I being scammed again? Du Gai had an inexplicable ominous premonition in his heart. Back then, when this stinky girl tricked him into signing the contract, she was smiling like that too. Could it be that I'm being scammed again? It can't be. It can't be. I must be overthinking. How could a teenage girl have such shrewdness? Master Xinyuan, send a few elders to catch the fire spirit beast with me. Our sect has always been truthful. Let's show the world who is lying. Yun Chujio turned around and said to Master Xinyuan. Master Xinyuan nodded and let Elder Shao and the others follow Yun Chujio into the mountain gate. Although Master Xinyuan looked calm on the surface, he was extremely excited on the inside. Damn. Du Gai, are you mad? Aren't you a show-off? I'll make you suffer. I'll show you know what it means to be unable to cry. What it means to be in so much pain that you wish you were dead. What it means to have nothing to live for. The elders of Spirit Radiance sect all had solemn expressions on their faces, but in fact, they were all about to burst out laughing in their hearts. When they were tricked by little Jiao, they had rejected her in their hearts, but seeing her trick Du Gai was really great. Little Jiao's ability to deceive others was truly at its peak. No wonder Du Gai was tricked. If they did not know the inside story, they would definitely think that she was guilty. Her acting skills were simply impossible to not fall for. Everyone waited for nearly an hour before Yun Chujio and the others came out. Everyone stretched their necks and looked at a small fiery red beast following behind them. This small beast was only about 2 feet in size, and its appearance was somewhat similar to that of a fire-breathing panther. It had fiery red fur and its eyes were like rubies, flowing with brilliant colors. It was very beautiful. What disappointed everyone was the small beast's tail had been wrapped by cloth, so it was impossible to tell whether its tail had been broken or not. Du Gai had originally felt a little uneasy, but now that the small beast's tail had been wrapped, his heart was filled with confidence again. Spirit Radiance sect was clearly trying to cover up. If its tail had not been broken, would there be a need to cover it up? The surrounding crowd curiously sized up the little red beast. Someone asked loudly, "Sect leader Du Gai, is this a fire spirit beast? Didn't the fire spirit beast we had have a violent temperament? This one looks rather docile." "That's right, we've never seen a fire spirit beast before. How can we prove that this is it?" Du Gai looked at Yun Chujio. "Little girl, is this really a fire spirit beast?" Yun Chujio pursed her lips and rubbed the little beast's head. The little beast aimed its butt at Du Gai and a rock fell to the ground and quickly burned. "Oh my god. It's really a fire spirit beast." "But isn't a fire spirit beast a strange beast? How can it be so obedient? That little girl even touched its head and it didn't resist. Yeah, I think this fire spirit beast might really be heaven's gift. Didn't they say that the one from the Heavenly Gate sect was very violent? This one is obviously very docile. It's hard to say. Can't you see that this fire spirit beast's tail is wrapped in cloth? If they weren't guilty, why would the tail be wrapped in a cloth? Little girl, since this is a fire spirit beast, then untie the cloth on its tail, Dugai said confidently. Sect leader Dugai, do you have any first aid pills on you? Don't try to blackmail Spirit Radiance sect just because you can't take the blow later. The smile on Yun Chujia's face was very bright. She was going to make a small fortune again. Was that not fantastic? Chapter 428. The perfect tail. Little girl, cut the crap. Hurry up and untie the cloth. Du Gai snorted coldly. Yun Chujio untied the cloth on the fire spirit beast's tail bit by bit. La la la. Everyone take a look. What a perfect tail. Everyone's eyes were focused on the beast's tail. The tail was flawless. It was long and curled up, swaying back and forth nimbly. No. Impossible. Du Gai's eyes widened. He could not believe what he had just seen. It's a fake. You must have done something to it. They fixed the tail last minute. Yun Chujio giggled. Fairy Yumei and Taoist Jinny, please come forward and take a look. See if this tail has been tampered with? Sect Master Du Gai, you trust them, right? Although Du Gai wished that he could go forward and cut off the fire spirit beast's tail, he still nodded. Alright, please take a look. Will this fire spirit beast obediently let us take a look? Fairy Yumei asked suspiciously. It can distinguish between good people and bad people. You and Taoist Jinny are both good people, so it wouldn't reject you. If it were that person, it wouldn't work. Although Yun Chujio was vague, everyone knew that she was talking about Du Gai. Du Gai was not in the mood to bicker with her right then. His eyes were fixed on the fire spirit beast's tail. Fairy Yumei and Taoist Jinny walked to the fire spirit beast's side doubtfully and gently touched the fire spirit beast's tail. The fire spirit beast shouted in its spiritual sense, Master, can you not let them touch my tail? Number 2. Be good. I will go back and give you more food. Just let them touch it a few times and it'll be over. I'm making money to buy food for you. In order to eat, the fire spirit beast had no choice but to abandon its dignity as a beast. It obediently allowed Fairy Yumei and Taoist priest Jinny to touch its tail a few times. This fire spirit beast's tail has indeed not been damaged, Fairy Yumei said with certainty. That's right, its tail hasn't been tampered with, Taoist priest Jinny echoed from the side. Du Gai only felt a buzz in his head. If it was not for his superb spirit energy, he might have really fainted under such a huge blow. It was over. Not only did we lose Spirit Radiance Sect's 1/10 of their share of spirit stones, we also have to compensate them 1/10 of their share of spirit stones. And the fucking 10 million low-grade spirit stones. Yun Chujio. It's all because of this smelly girl. Every time I'm unlucky, I can't escape her involvement. I must find a chance to get rid of this stinky little girl. Sect leader Dugu? You have nothing to say now, right? Now it's my turn to speak. Everyone, I believe that you've seen the contract that the Heavenly Gate sect signed with our Spirit Radiance sect. The Heavenly Gate sect is really black-hearted, constantly finding trouble with our sect and insisting that we give away 1/10 of our share of spirit stones before agreeing to sell us earth fire. I didn't expect that the heavens would deliver the appropriate retribution. Not only did they extinguish the earth fire, but the fire spirit beast had also disappeared. Thus, they framed our sect for stealing their fire spirit beast. I won't comment much on Heavenly Gate sect's actions as I believe that everyone's eyes are sharp enough to see them. Sect leader Dugu, now that the truth has been revealed, you should first transfer 10 million low-grade spirit stones to Master Xinyuan and then send someone to settle the spirit stone shares with us. It's best if you don't have any wishful thinking. If you want to act like a scoundrel and stall for time, and if your Heavenly Gate sect doesn't deal with this matter quickly, then in the future Spirit Radiance sect's earth fire will not be sold to your sect at all. Yun Chujia's small figure was upright, and her words were righteous and impassioned. Chapter 429. The price of earth fire. Du Gai's face turned red then green. He felt that he had nowhere to hide his face and wished that he could find a hole to hide in. He gritted his teeth. Our Heavenly Gate sect will naturally not go back on our words. Sooner or later the truth will come out. When I find out who stole our fire spirit beast, I definitely will not forgive him. Yun Chujio ignored him and hopped to Master Xinyuan and said, Master Xinyuan, I've dealt with the unreasonable people. You can handle the rest of the business. Du Gai was so angry that he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Good, very good. Yun Chujiu, I will remember you. Master Xianyuan held back his laughter and said to Du Gai, Master Xianyuan, first transfer the 10 million spirit stones to us. Du Gai naturally did not want to be ridiculed by everyone for the 10 million low-grade spirit stones, so he gritted his teeth and transferred them to Master Xianyuan. He thought in his heart that even though they had lost this round, many people would definitely be jealous of Spirit Radiant Sect's sudden acquisition of the Fire Spirit Beast. Don't even think about enjoying your gains in peace. Master Xianyuan, congratulations. Not only did you obtain 1/10 of our Heavenly Gate sect's share of spirit stones, but you also obtained a Fire Spirit Beast for free. Your sect will soar in the future. Heavenly Gate sect wouldn't be able to compete with you. Du Gai said in a strange tone. Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist Master Zhen Yi's thoughts shifted slightly. Originally, the four great sects were on par with each other and kept each other in check. Now, Spirit Radiant Sect obtained 1/10 of the Heavenly Gate sect's share of spirit stones, and they even obtained a Fire Spirit Beast for free. They will definitely surpass us in the future. Will they play tricks when that time came? The other large and small factions also began to shift their attention to the Earth Fire from their initial wait-and-see attitude. Would Spirit Radiant Sect set the price of the Earth Fire to be very high? Master Xianyuan laughed loudly. Sect leader Du, you must be joking. Since our sect has received the Heaven's gift, we naturally won't want to enjoy the benefits alone. After discussion, we've decided to set the price of the Earth Fire at 80,000 low-grade spirit stones per cart, which is 80% of what Heavenly Gate sect charged. Also, if any faction can hand over a fragment of the Great Void Mirror to us, then the price of the Earth Fire will be reduced by a further 20%. Moreover, as everyone has seen, there's only one Fire Spirit Beast, so production of the Earth Fire is limited. Therefore, those who can provide the fragment of the Great Void Mirror will have priority in purchasing it. Master Xuanyuan's words caused a huge commotion among the crowd. They thought that Spirit Radiant Sect would raise the price, but they did not expect that they would actually lower the price. This was truly unexpected. This instantly calmed the jealousy of the people. However, some people were clearly unwilling to see such a reaction. Du Gai asked with a cold smile, Master Xianyuan, since we can no longer enter the Great Void mystical realm, I'm wondering why your sect still places so much importance on the fragment of the Great Void Mirror? Could it be that there is some unspeakable secret within it? Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist Master Zhen Yi also looked at Master Xianyuan suspiciously. This matter was indeed a little suspicious. Master Xianyuan smiled slightly. The reason why we want to collect the fragments of the Great Void Mirror is because this Fire Spirit Beast was Heaven's gift, so we want to do something that conforms to the law of the heavens. The Great Void Mirror was passed down from the ancient times. If we can collect all the fragments, it can be considered as a small return from our sect to the heavens gift. This matter is entirely voluntary. Our sect only provided it as a choice, and we will not force anyone into it. Everyone can consider this among yourselves. If you're interested in purchasing the Earth Fire, please come to our sect another day for a chat. We will not keep you all here today. When everyone heard Master Xianyuan say that, although they still had some doubts in their hearts, they could only take their leave. Before leaving, Du Gai stared at Yun Chujiu deeply. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes and said, Master Du, do you have something to say to me? I advise you to settle the Spirit Stone share transfer procedures as soon as possible. Otherwise, there won't be a share of Earth Fire for Heavenly Gate sect. Little girl, you're very good. However, you're already so outstanding at such a young age, showing off your intelligence like that. You have to guard your own little life. Du Gai felt his head buzzing. This smelly girl was really too infuriating. Yun Chujiu looked at them with contempt and opened the isolation array in the courtyard. She saw Di Baiming sitting beside the stone table and drinking tea. When everyone saw Di Baiming, they immediately restrained their aggressive aura and looked at him shyly. Young Master Di, I am Su Yen, an inner disciple of the West Peak. Your teacup is empty. Let me pour you some tea. Su Yen said as she quickly walked toward the stone table. She had a plan in her mind. With her looks, she would definitely be able to attract young Master Di's attention. She was much better than Yun Chujio. Scram. Just as Su Yan's hand was about to touch the teapot, Di Baiming flicked his sleeve. Su Yan flew over everyone's head like a kite with a broken string. After a long while, everyone heard a loud bang. Chapter 431. Feng Ming has returned. Everyone was shocked by Di Baiming's action. The female disciples who had wanted to imitate Su Yan were instantly frightened and did not dare to move forward. Get out. Di Baiming raised his head unhappily and swept his gaze across everyone. Everyone felt a chill run down their spines and their legs started to tremble. At that moment, they were extremely certain that if they did not get out, this man would mercilessly throw them out of the courtyard. At that moment they no longer felt that this young Master Di was elegant and gentle. He was a fucking jinx. Everyone staggered and ran out of the courtyard in a sorry state. After running for a few miles, everyone finally stopped. That young Master Di is such a dog. I didn't expect him to have such a violent temper. I don't care how good-looking he is. What the hell was that? Exactly, he might hit his wife in the future. However, a few female disciples showed an even more infatuated expression. This kind of man is really interesting. He looked really handsome when he threw Su Yan just now. Yeah, young Master Di only flicked his sleeve lightly and Su Yan fell so far away. Su Yan is at the 9th level of spirit enhancement. Young Master Di's spiritual power must be really unfathomable. What's the point of having a man who is easy to get? Only such a challenging man can give you a sense of achievement. I'm definitely going to get young Master Di. That's right, I don't believe that I can't compete with that Yun Chujio. Young Master Di must have been deceived by that Yun Chujio. That's why he doesn't show any emotion toward other women. At that moment Yun Chujio was looking at Di Baiming with starry eyes. Prince Charming, that move of yours just now was really too cool. Especially when you said scram, it was simply too damn cool. Prince Charming, my admiration for you has risen to a new height. Di Baiming snorted. If you didn't let them in on purpose, would I have been stared at by those idiots? Yun Chujio's thoughts were exposed. She did not feel guilty at all. Instead she said confidently, that's right, I did it on purpose. I just wanted them to give up. They wanted to snatch my man. They're simply looking to torture themselves. Although Di Baiming did not say anything, he was very pleased in his heart. The reason why Black Thing said that must be because she cared very much about him. Although she had many flaws, she was completely devoted to him. Little Sister Jiao. Little Sister Jiao. Senior Brother Feng Ming? Senior Brother Feng Ming, I missed you so much. You're finally back. Yun Chujio's eyes lit up and she ran out of the courtyard to welcome him. Di Baiming felt his face hurt a little and his heart was filled with panic. Chapter 432. Yun Chujio's man. This time we went to Qingtian Mountains. Apart from the beautiful scenery, there are also many specialty products there. This 9-petaled hibiscus nectar is very refreshing and sweet. There's also this crescent banana that has a soft and sticky in the mouth, and girls love to eat it. Feng Ming kept taking things out from his storage ring to show off his treasures. Yun Chujio's smile was as bright as a flower. As she kept the things, she kept asking non-stop, Senior Brother Feng Ming, how far is Qingtian Mountains from our sect? When will you go again next time? Can you bring me along too? Feng Ming suddenly felt a chill on his body. When he raised his head he saw Di Baiming. Feng Ming felt that he could be considered as one of the best among the younger generation. Not only in Spirit Radiance sect but also in the Qingxian continent. However, compared to this man in front of him, whether it was his appearance, aura or spiritual power, all of them were inferior. Feng Ming's confidence, which he had always been proud of, suffered a huge blow. Di Baiming stared coldly at Feng Ming and did not speak. However, even such a faint pressure made Feng Ming feel a little breathless. Feng Ming suddenly recalled that he had fallen for no reason twice and inexplicably felt that it was related to this man in front of him. Yun Chujio only noticed Di Baiming's displeased expression at this time and quickly said, Senior Brother Feng Ming, this is Di Baiming, my Prince Charming. Yun Chujio's man. Feng Ming stumbled and almost fell to the ground. With a shocked expression he asked, Junior sister little Gio, what did you say? Why your man? Are you married? Yun Chujio giggled. Not yet, but sooner or later he will be mine. Prince Charming, this is Bird. Senior brother Feng Ming. Although Di Biming felt that it was more appropriate to say that she was his woman, but seeing that Yun Chujio did not hide their relationship in front of Feng Ming, he knew that she really did not have any romantic feelings for Feng Ming. Thus, the expression on his face eased up a little. Di Biming nodded slightly at Feng Ming, who cupped his hands. The two of them could be considered to have already met each other. Feng Ming chatted a little more. He felt a little uncomfortable in front of Di Biming. Moreover, he felt odd that Yun Chujio kept talking about her man, so he found an excuse to leave. When Yun Chujio hopped to send Feng Ming off, Feng Ming asked in a low voice, Junior sister little Gio, what's going on? You're still young, don't be deceived. Senior brother Feng Ming, don't worry. I've known my Prince Charming for a long time. Master Shen Yuan and the others have also seen my Prince Charming. They'll look for you to play with when I have time. Yun Chujio said with a smile. When Feng Ming heard her say that, he could not say anything more and left. Yun Chujio hopped back to the courtyard, took out the banana that Feng Ming had given to her and ate it happily. While eating, she asked, Prince Charming, don't scare senior brother Bird so much. He has helped me a lot. Di Biming snorted coldly but did not say anything. Although Bird Boy was a little weak, his character was still okay. He could not stay in Spirit Radiance sect too often, so maybe Bird Boy could help him a little. Little Gio, since the matter with the fire spirit beast has come to an end, he'll go back to deal with some matters first. Don't be too playful and cultivate well. Try to ascend to the Tianyuan continent as soon as possible. Di Biming had saved Yun Chujio from Shui Wuji. He had accumulated quite a lot of things in his hands. Initially, he had planned to leave after sending Yun Chujio back to Spirit Radiance sect. However, he was worried that the Heavenly Gate sect would make trouble, so he stayed for another 2 days. Hey Prince Charming. Go do your thing. I will cultivate properly. Yun Chujio nodded her head obediently. At that moment, this fellow's heart was flying. After the gigolo left, she was going to look for senior brother Bird. She still had many questions to ask. Di Biming frowned. After I leave, don't mess around. If I find out that you've done something ridiculous, I will not forgive you. Yun Chujio said confidently, don't worry. I will definitely cultivate well and improve every day. I will never let down my Prince Charming's expectations. Oh right, my Prince Charming, you must treat the other flirtatious bitches like you did today. You must attack them steadily, accurately, and ruthlessly. You must not let them have the chance to get close to you. Chapter 433. Miss Gio is really bold and unrestrained. The corner of Di Biming's eyes twitched slightly. Keep these 5 concealment talismans just in case you need them. Prince Charming, you're really too kind. Come, give me a kiss, goodbye. Yun Chujio stood on her tiptoes and hugged Di Biming. Di Biming waved his sleeve, and the miserable Enfeng instantly lost his perception. Enfeng's heart was on the verge of collapse. The two of you are really crossing the line. Don't put out bait if you don't want anyone to take it. You're going to torture a single dog like me to death. Miss Gio is really bold and unrestrained. However, for such a proud and arrogant fellow like the revered one, perhaps only an unconventional girl like the 9th Miss could take him down. The women of the Tianyuan continent were destined to be sad. However, some of the girls who adored the revered one aren't easy to deal with. Fortunately, the 9th Miss was now in the Qingxian continent. She was in the Tianyuan continent. It would be very lively. Enfeng found that he had regained his senses while his thoughts were running wild. Enfeng, keep an eye on your revered one. If there are happenings in your little notebook, tell me and I will reward you handsomely. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Enfeng smiled non-committally, thinking to himself, Miss Gio, you've got the complete opposite. The little notebook only records the happenings around you. After Di Biming left, Yun Chujio clamored happily. She was very pleased. Compared to Yun Chujio's elation, Du Gai from the Heavenly Gate sect was extremely depressed. Not only did he lose the earth fire, but he also had to give 1/10 of their spirit stones to Spirit Radiance sect. Fortunately, he had a deep foundation in Heavenly Gate sect. Otherwise, he would have been forced to give up the position of sect master because of this incident. Master, my cousins are in Spirit Radiance sect. Do you need them to do anything? Su Yenran asked tentatively. She was already halfway through the 9th level of spirit enhancement, and her cultivation speed could be said to be very fast. Hence, she was taken in as a true disciple by Du Gai. She was doing very well in Heavenly Gate sect. Du Gai's heart moved. Tell me about their situation. Su Yenran briefly explained the situation of the Bai siblings. Master, the two of them have a grudge against Yun Chujio. As long as I promise them some benefits, they will definitely agree to our arrangements. Du Gai nodded. We can give them some benefits and promise them that if they can't stay in Spirit Radiance sect they can join our sect. I will accept them as true disciples. Get them to inquire about the fire spirit beast and think of a way to get rid of Yun Chujio. Don't worry, Master. I'll get it done immediately. Su Yenran hated Yun Chujio to death. Even without Du Gai's instructions she would have still contacted the Bai siblings. Su Yenran handed a secret letter Heavenly Gate sect's outer disciple that was planted in Spirit Radiance sect and told him to hand it to Bai Muyu personally. After receiving Su Yanran's secret letter, Bai Muyu was somewhat hesitant. Although he wished he could kill Yun Chujio, he limited it to using subtle tricks that would help not getting him discovered. However, the fire spirit beast was Spirit Radiance sect's top secret. Once he leaked the information about the beast, then he and Moru would definitely not be able to stay in Spirit Radiance sect. If things went wrong, they might even lose their lives. Therefore, when Bai Muyu replied, he only mentioned that he would try his best to get rid of Yun Chujio, and did not mention anything about the fire spirit beast. Su Yenran did not mind as she wanted to get rid of Yun Chujio first anyway. As for the fire spirit beast, as long as she used some tricks, she was not afraid that the Bai siblings would not comply. Chapter 434. Please stay in your lane. In the following period of time, the Bai siblings were very active. Bai Muyu was very sociable. Other than Liao Chuan and the other new disciples who kept a respectful distance from him, some of the older inner sect disciples had a good impression of him. Not only was he generous, but he was also very good at talking. Bai Morris' delicate appearance attracted the attention of some male disciples. In addition to Yun Chushan's pursuers, the three of them were very popular among the inner sect disciples of Spirit Radiance sect. Due to the Bai siblings' encouragement as well as Yun Chujio's unbridled behavior, the inner sect disciples had a very bad impression of Yun Chujio. Moreover, they were also indignant about Spirit Radiance sect's higher-ups' favoritism toward Yun Chujio. How could a good-for-nothing at the 4th level of spirit enhancement be promoted to a true disciple? Although Yun Chujio had many wicked ideas and could speak eloquently, should the sect not focus on cultivation? The level of spiritual power was the standard to measure a disciple. Which inner sect disciple among them did not have a higher spiritual power than her? How could she be promoted to a successor disciple? Su Yun and the others told these rumors to Yun Chujio, but she did not take them to heart. People would only be jealous of those who were slightly stronger than them, and when you reached the height that they looked up to, the jealousy would turn into respect. Therefore Yun Chujio did what she was supposed to do. She was not affected by these rumors at all. That afternoon Yun Chujio hopped over to look for Feng Ming. She felt that Feng Ming definitely had the potential to become her best friend. His personality was too compatible with hers. Most importantly, he was not pretentious at all. When Yun Chujio was about to reach Feng Ming's courtyard, two women walked over from the opposite side. One of them was Su Yan, who got thrown away by Di Baiming. The other woman was someone she had never seen before. She had a beautiful appearance and was even on par with Su Yanran. Her temperament was different from Su Yanran's cold arrogance. She was very gentle and magnanimous. Senior Zhua, you don't know her yet, right? During the period of time when you went out to train, this Yun Chujio is very glorious. She obtained the first place in the Great Void Mystic Realm trial and was accepted as a true disciple by Elder Sun Bozhong. Furthermore, she had great luck and was able to cling on to young Master D. Now that young Master D has left, she's pestering Senior Feng Ming. How shameless. Although Su Yan had been thrown out by Di Baiming, she did not hate him. Instead, she hated Yun Chujio. Recently, she had been very close to Bai Moru, so she spared no effort to smear Yun Chujio's reputation. Senior sister Zhua berated her in a low voice. Junior sister Su, stop talking nonsense. Junior sister Yun is still young, so she does things without propriety. It's inevitable for her to be a little thoughtless. Junior sister Yun, junior sister Su speaks without restraint. Please forgive her. Yun Chujio glanced at senior sister Zhua. She was obviously trying to mediate the fight, but in reality she was belittling her. What a white lotus flower. 1. Forgive her. What if I don't forgive her? Why should I forgive her for slandering me? I'm not sick. Senior sister Zhua clearly did not expect that Yun Chujio would not buy her words. She frowned slightly. Junior sister Yun, although junior sister Zu's words are rash, we're both disciples of Spirit Radiant sect. You don't have to be calculative. It's really not worth it to have an argument just because of a few words that aren't pleasing to the ear. Yun Chujio could not help but sneer in her heart. This senior sister Zhua's words were really artistic. After hearing what she said, she decided to be a petty person. I'm sorry. First, I don't know you. This is a matter between Su Yen and me. Please stay north your lane. Second, Su Yen slandered me first. Since she has the guts to slander me, then she must have the guts to bear the consequences. Su Yen, are you going to slap yourself, or should I help you? Chapter 435. It is illegal to lay your hands. Junior sister Yin. My name is Zhua Piaoyu. I am the true disciple of Peak Master Yuan of the West Peak. We're just bickering a little. Why make a big deal out of it? To put it bluntly, if we were to really start fighting, even a 4th-level spirit-enhanced cultivator like you wouldn't be a match for junior sister Su. Senior sister Zhua's brows were tightly knitted together. Yun Chujio's actions were indeed very ostentatious. No wonder senior brother Feng Ming took notice of her. Since that was the case, she would let Su Yen teach her a lesson so that she can learn from it. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. Senior sister Zhua, are you trying to mediate the fight or are you trying to incite us to fight? Why do I feel that you really want us to fight? Zhua Piaoyu never thought that Yun Chujio would actually guess her thoughts. She looked a little embarrassed. Junior sister Yun, you're really unreasonable. I was trying to mediate the fight and had good intentions, but you slandered me. Since that's the case, I won't care about your matters anymore. You can settle it yourselves. At this time, some of the inner sect disciples who passed by gathered around and pointed at Yun Chujio. It's Yun Chujio again. Senior sister Zhua is the kindest and gentlest person in our Spirit Radiant sect. I didn't expect that she would be so angry with her. She's really unreasonable. I've never seen senior sister Zhua so angry. This Yun Chujio is simply too much. Yeah, what senior sister Zhua said wasn't wrong either. She tried to mediate the fight with good intentions and was even slandered. This Yun Chujio is really unreasonable. Yun Chujio is a very arrogant and despotic person. The last time she used a flying spirit tool, not only did she beat up Moru and me, but she also used her foot to kick us. In the past, when we were in Yi City, she was just as vicious. Yun Chushan stood in the crowd and said, feeling wronged. When the crowd heard Yun Chushan's words, they became even angrier. This Yun Chujio is really too much. Are the sect masters and the 5 peak masters blind? They actually valued such vicious trash. If it was an ordinary person who was pointed at by the crowd, they would have long been unable to bear it. Yun Chujio acted as if nothing had happened. She blinked her eyes and said, all right, since senior sister Zhua has advised me, I'll take a step back. Ziyan, come over and apologize to me. Also, pay me 10,000 low-grade spirit stones as compensation for mental damage. I won't take this any further today. Yun Chujio, what I said is the truth. Why should I apologize to you? At that moment, Su Yen had Zhua Piaoyu's support, so how could she give in? Moreover, she felt that even if they were to fight, Yun Chujio was not her match. Are you sure you don't want to apologize? The corner of Yun Chujio's mouth curled up. If I don't apologize, would you dare to hit me? If you beat up a fellow disciple, you've violated the sect rules. Flap, flap. Yun Chujio suddenly went forward and gave Su Yen 2 heavy slaps. Then she kicked Su Yen in the heart. Su Yen flew more than 100 feet away and fell heavily to the ground. Su Yen was stunned by the slaps. She did not expect Yun Chujio to really dare to violate the sect rules. This girl hit her just like that. She was really evil. Yun Chujio patted the non-existent dust on her hands and glanced around. If you have the time to gossip, maybe you should go cultivate? If anyone dares to say anything bad about me again, I will make him unable to get out of bed for 3 months. If you don't believe me, you can try. Whether it was Shuo Piaoyu or the onlookers, they were all stunned. This Yun Chuju was really bold. She actually dared to beat up her fellow disciples in the sect. Also, was Su Yan so useless? You are at the 9th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm, and yet, you were beaten up by Yun Chujio, who is at the 4th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm. Yun Chujio, I'm going to kill you. Su Yan got up from the ground and pounced on Yun Chujio like a madman. Chapter 436. The valiant Yun Chujio. At that moment, Su Yan's appearance was indeed like that of a madman. Not only did the hairpin on her head fall off, but there were also 2 bright palm prints on her face. However, she was dressed lightly as well. With that kind of fall, the 2 lumps of flesh on her chest almost popped out of her clothes. The surrounding male disciples had a feast for their eyes. Their eyes seemed to have grown hooks as they stared intently at Su Yan's chest. Su Yan was usually very glamorous. She had never been bullied like that. At that moment, she did not care about the rules of the sect. She threw 5 wind blades at Yun Chujio. Shuo Piaoyu was shocked. Yun Chujio was only at the 4th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm. She definitely could not dodge all 5 wind blades. She would end up either dead or injured. However, it may be good if she died so that she would not be able to pester senior brother Feng Ming anymore. Her master usually doted on her the most, but she did not expect that when he returned, 8 out of 10 of the 10 sentences he spoke were complimenting Yun Chujio. Was she not just glib-tongued trash? What was there to praise? Moreover, even if Yun Chujio died or was injured, the sect would still hold that idiot Su Yan responsible, and it had nothing to do with her. However, it was better for her to put on an act. Thus, Shuo Piaoyu pretended to take a few steps forward as if she was going to help Yun Chujio block the 5 wind blades. When the onlookers saw that something was going to happen, some of them wanted to step forward to help, but when they saw that Shuo Piaoyu had made a move, they retreated. After all, Shuo Piaoyu was a 2nd-level spirit cultivator, so her spiritual power was much higher than theirs. By the time everyone realized that Shuo Piaoyu had not made a move, Su Yan's 5 wind blades were already about to hit Yun Chujio's body. Yun Chujio, on the other hand, looked as if she had been scared silly. She actually stood still on the spot. It was over. Everyone could not help but scream. Only Yun Chushan and a few others there wanted Yun Chujio to die. Most of them only disliked Yun Chujio and did not want Yun Chujio to lose her life just like that. What everyone did not expect was that just as the 5 wind blades were about to land on Yun Chujio's body, Yun Chujio actually leaped up more than 10 feet off the spot. After landing on the ground, she directly kicked at the crazy Su Yan. Fuck. You actually tried to kill me. I'll kick you to death. I'll let you taste my little Jio's shadowless kick. You're actually still coveting my Prince Charming. You're really shameless. I told you not to spout nonsense. I told you not to slander me. I'll kick you to death. You're always gossiping. If you don't know how to converse, then shut the fuck up. I'll let you learn your lesson. The crowd felt as if Yun Chujio was kicking them from left to right. They recalled what they had said about Yun Chujio and could not help but feel a little afraid. This Yun Chujio was too valiant. Even if she was at the 9th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm, she could still beat her up. It was really strange. Was she not at the 4th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm? How could she be so fast? Yun Chujio kicked a dozen times and saw that Su Yan had already fainted from the kick. Only then did she walk in front of the somewhat dazed Shuo Piaoyu. Shuo Piaoyu, don't think that everyone else is a fool. Your White Lotus facade won't work on me. Looks like you're trying to mediate the fight, but every word is filled with anger. You can't wait for the 2 of us to fight. The reason why I dodged the wind blades so late was to see if you would come to my rescue. I didn't expect you to be so vicious to such an extent that you really didn't save me. It's fine if you didn't save me, but you made it seem like you wanted to save me to mislead everyone and make them give up on saving me. How vicious. I'll let you off this time for the sake of Peak Master Yuan. The next time you play tricks in front of me, I won't let you off. After Yun Chujio finished speaking, she walked away. This fellow thought to herself, no wonder the gigolo kept saying that he wouldn't let me off. This sentence was indeed very flashy, wasn't it? I even dared to scold that old thing Du Gai. You, a white lotus flower, are showing off in front of me. You're really looking for trouble. Chapter 437. We can't afford to offend that demon. Zhuo Piaoyu was robbed of her innocence by Yun Chujio. Before she could defend herself, Yun Chujio had already left. There was a subtle change in the hearts of the onlookers. Although Yun Chujio was a little arrogant, her words about Zhuo Piaoyu made some sense. If it were not for Zhuo Piaoyu taking the stance as if she wanted to save Yun Chujio, they would have definitely attacked. However, she did not attack despite her stance. If Yun Chujio was not fast, she would have been either dead or injured. Zhuo Piaoyu's eyes reddened when she saw everyone's suspicious gaze as tears fell from them. I really didn't react. I was injured during the training trip. I didn't expect junior sister Su to really attack, so I reacted too slowly. I have no enmity with junior sister Yun. Why would I want to harm her? Zhuo Piaoyu's gentle and reasonable image was deeply ingrained in everyone's hearts. When they heard Zhuo Piaoyu's explanation, everyone immediately believed her words. That Yun Chujio was full of evil intentions. Perhaps she thought that everyone was like her. Zhuo Piaoyu was well known for being gentle and kind. How could she do the kind of thing that Yun Chujio said? Seeing that everyone believed her words, Zhuo Piaoyu's eyes flickered a few times. Then she cried out in alarm and pounced toward the unconscious Su Yan. Junior sister Su. Junior sister Su. Are you all right? Although Yun Chujio had kicked many times, she did not use her spiritual power. Therefore, although Su Yan looked like she was in a sorry state, in reality she fainted out of embarrassment and anger. After being shaken by Zhuo Piaoyu, she woke up. Junior sister Su? Where do you feel uncomfortable? Don't worry, Yun Chujio broke the rules of the sect. We will testify for you. We will report to the patrolling disciples of the law enforcement agency of West Peak right now and seek justice for you. Zhuo Piaoyu said gently. Su Yan was so touched that she nodded repeatedly. Thank you, senior sister Zhuo. That bitch Yun Chujio, I will not forgive her. Yun Chushan, who was in the crowd, curled her lips. What an idiot. Zhuo Piaoyu seemed to be doing this for your own good, but in reality she had betrayed you as well. When the law enforcement agency interrogates her, Yun Chujio had merely used her fists and kicks, but you've used wind blades. When that time came, the punishment might be even heavier than Yun Chujio's. However, what did this have to do with me? As long as Yun Chujio was punished, it's fine. Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan found the law enforcement team disciples who were patrolling the West Peak and told them about the incident. She thought that as the true disciple of the West Peak's master, these law enforcement disciples would immediately capture Yun Chujio after she finished talking. Chapter 438. Was in a bad state. Zhuo Piaoyu was confused. As a successor disciple, she naturally would not pay attention to Yun Chujio, who was a handyman back then. Later on, she went out to train, so she did not know about these things. Seeing the determined attitude of these patrolling disciples, Zhuo Piaoyu said gently, in that case, I won't make things difficult for you. I'll bring junior sister Su Yan to the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency and wait for Elder Shao to decide whether to arrest her or not. Hearing Zhuo Piaoyu's words, the patrolling disciples of the law enforcement agency were grateful for Zhuo Piaoyu's understanding and took their leave. Zhuo Piaoyu helped Su Yan to the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency and went to the manager Qian Chong to tell him about the matter. When Qian Chong heard that it was about Yun Chujio, his head hurt. He still remembered the incident with Lu Qingzhen. This little girl was not to be trifled with. He might even bite him back. You guys go inside and rest for a while. I'll report to Elder Shao and ask him to make a decision. Qian Chong decided to shift the responsibility to Elder Shao. I can't afford to offend that little demoness Yun Chujio. Elder Shao was really in the courtyard. After hearing Qian Chong's report, he rubbed his forehead. This Yun Chujio is really troublesome. She causes trouble all day long. Although she has made great contributions to the sect, one should also be careful. Even if you secretly punish her, best not to let her catch you. Elder Shao was suddenly shocked when he thought of this. It's over. How could I have been led astray by that little girl Yun Chujio? As a result, Elder Shao fell into self-denial and self-doubt, and his entire person was in a bad state. There are no rules that let us achieve a square with a circle. As an elder of the law enforcement agency, how could I have fallen for such a wrong way of thinking? Qian Chong saw that Elder Shao seemed to be in a meditative state and did not dare to go forward to disturb him. He sat on a chair and waited. Zhuo Piaoyu and Su Yan waited in the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency until the sun set and Qian Chong did not return. The disciples of the Law Enforcement Agency avoided them as if they were avoiding a plague. They were afraid that they would be urged to catch Yun Chuzhou. Zhuo Piaoyu's hatred toward Yun Chuzhou dialed up 10 points. She had never received such cold treatment before. She did not expect that because of Yun Chuzhou, not only did she almost destroy the image that she had built for so many years in front of everyone, she was also given such cold treatment in the law enforcement agency. He had to destroy this bitch Yun Chuzhou. Otherwise, not only would she snatch away senior brother Feng Ming, she would also sooner or later snatch away the glory that originally belonged to her. Su Yan was already beaten black and blue. After starving for an entire afternoon, she felt that she was going to faint again. Senior sister Zhuo, let's go back first. Well, come back tomorrow. Alright, junior sister Su will send you back. You go home and rest well. I believe that the law enforcement agency will definitely make a decision for you. Although Zhuo Piaoyu despised this big-breasted and brainless idiot, in order to punish Yun Chuzhou, she could only use her for the time being. Su Yan was very touched. Aside from thanking her, she used vicious words to curse Yun Chuzhou. At that time, Yun Chuzhou had just finished her dinner. She happily placed the luminous pearl that she had scammed from Shui Wuji in the room and lit it up. Then she took out the remaining 2 storybooks and started reading them. Sigh, I don't know when I'll have the chance to go out again. These 2 books are too boring. My amateur cultural life is really too monotonous. Fifth sister and the others cultivate every day and no one plays with me. That's true. After all, there are only a handful of people with such heaven-defying talent like me. I'm as lonely as snow. Just when Yun Chuzhou was bored and wanted to bang her head against the wall, her eyes lit up. She had a voice transmission talisman so she could tease the gigolo. Chapter 439. Dried salted fish. Yun Chuzhou took out her voice transmission talisman and said slyly, "Dear Prince Charming, do you miss me? I miss you so much. I miss you so much that I can't sleep. I miss you so much that my heart is about to break." After a moment, the voice transmission began to vibrate. Yun Chuzhou was a little excited as she sent her divine sense in. She heard Di Baiming's low voice saying, Yun Chuzhou thought that she heard it wrong. She listened to it 7 or 8 times and there was really only one M. This girl was instantly enraged. What a tsundere. Spare the rod, spoil the child. They have not seen each other for 3 days and he was playing with her by being stingy with his words. What do you mean, Em? Did you miss me? Answer me properly, or I will sing you the song of fried crab with rice cake. After a while, the voice transmission vibrated again. Yun Chuzhou proudly sent her spiritual sense into it, thinking that this time, the gigolo would definitely answer her with sweet words. Sing. Di Baiming's calm voice came out from the voice transmission talisman. Yun Chuzhou was stunned at first, then she grabbed the pillow on the bed and hammered it dozens of times. Gigolo. You're driving me nuts. You are such a tsundere. When you come back next time I will torture you to death. Of course, Yun Chuzhou would not really sing the song of fried crab with rice cake for Di Baiming. After punching the pillows hard, she put away the voice transmission talisman. Gigolo, just stay there and wait. I'll turn you into dried salted fish. The miserable Di Baiming was indeed waiting for Yun Chuzhou's voice transmission talisman. For 15 minutes, an hour, then 2 hours. There was no movement from the voice transmission talisman. On the other side, Di Baiming was waiting bitterly. On the other side, Yun Chuzhou was sleeping soundly. In her dream, she had ravaged the gigolo so much that she could not bear to wake up. Junior sister little Jiao. Junior sister little Jiao. Feng Ming's shout came from outside the courtyard. Yun Chuzhou could only open her eyes reluctantly. She was just 1 step away from getting the gigolo. What a pity. Yun Chuzhou yawned as she walked out of the room. Senior brother Feng Ming, why are you looking for me so early in the morning? Junior sister little Jiao, I heard that you beat Su Yan up? You even scolded junior sister Zhuo until she cried? Feng Ming asked anxiously. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. Senior brother Feng Ming, you didn't call Su Yan junior sister Su, but you called Zhuo Piaoyu junior sister Zhuo. Could it be that you have feelings for her? She's a two-faced white lotus. Be careful not to let it screw you to death. Feng Ming was stunned. Then he laughed and said, "Junior sister little Gio, what are you thinking? Junior sister Joie and I often go out to gain experience. It's just that we have a good relationship. I'm worried about you. You beat Su Yen up. I'm afraid the law enforcement agency will punish you according to the sex rules. Besides, junior sister Joie is gentle and kind. Why would she set me up? Alright, what does the white lotus flower mean? The white lotus looks weak and kind on the outside, but in reality she always hurts the people she doesn't like very badly. Of course, if she meets a white lotus killer like me, she'll be considered unlucky." Yun Chujio curled her lips. Did these people have eyes that grew to the back of their heads? How could Zhuo Piaoya's hypocritical look show that she was gentle and kind? Feng Ming nodded, but he did not think much of it. He thought that Yun Chuji was just a child. Junior sister Zhuo had always had a good reputation all these years, and when they went out to train together she had always taken care of everyone. Perhaps it was just this accident that made junior sister little Gio unhappy. Junior sister little Gio, let's not talk about junior sister Zhuo for now. The law enforcement agency will definitely come to arrest you in a while. Don't be afraid. When you arrive at the law enforcement agency, properly admit your mistake. I will help you plead for mercy. I believe that Elder Shao won't punish you too harshly. Feng Ming comforted. Yun Chujio giggled. Senior brother Feng Ming, you don't have to worry. Have you forgotten my identity? Little Pancher wouldn't dare to do anything to me. Chapter 440. I have come to surrender. Feng Ming was stunned for a moment before slapping his thigh. Junior sister little Gio, I've forgotten about this matter. That's right, your little ancestor Yun. How would Elder Shao dare to punish you severely? Senior brother Feng Ming, wait for me for a moment. We'll wash up. After breakfast, we'll take the initiative to go to the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency and surrender ourselves. Yun Chujio said with a grin. Feng Ming was dumbfounded. It was the first time he witnessed someone committing a mistake and delivering themselves to the door without waiting for anyone to catch them. However, it was also a little strange. He heard that this incident happened the day before at noon. Why did the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency not come to look for junior sister little Gio? Did they not say that the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency was the most strict and rigid? It was really strange. After eating breakfast, Yun Chujio sat on the chopping board and slowly flew to the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency. Feng Ming, who was flying on his sword beside her, clicked his tongue in wonder. Junior sister little Gio, you can even sit on your chopping board. It's much more comfortable than our flying sword. Yun Chujio raised her small face and said proudly, this is nothing. In the future it might turn into a bedboard. At that time I will lie on it. Feng Ming could not help but laugh. Little sister little Gio's idea is indeed different from the others. If it turns into a bedboard, you might as well ride on a flying spirit tool. Why must you lie on the bedboard? Flying spirit tools need spirit stones. But I don't need that for this board. Moreover, flying spirit tools are not as nimble as this chopping board. In some places, using them just doesn't make sense. The two of them chatted and laughed. Very soon they arrived at the West Peak Law Enforcement Agency. Su Yen and Zhuo Piaoyu had just arrived at the law enforcement agency. Manager Qian was comforting the two of them. You two wait here first. Elder Shao suddenly had an epiphany yesterday. I didn't dare to disturb him. After Elder Shao has finished meditating, I will handle your matters properly. Manager Qian, I'm here to surrender. Go and invite Elder Shao over. I'm waiting to be punished. Yun Chujio had just arrived at the door of the law enforcement agency when she shouted cheerfully. When the disciples of the law enforcement agency saw that Yun Chujio had arrived, they could not help but step back, afraid that this little fiend would latch onto them. Stop joking. You're going to surrender? You're waiting to be punished? You might be playing some evil trick again. Let's stay far away from her to avoid being latched on. When Su Yen saw Yun Chujio coming, she got up from her chair and was about to pounce on Yun Chujio when Zhuo Piaoyu grabbed her. Junior sister Su, the law enforcement agency will make a decision for you. Don't be rash. Senior brother Feng Ming, were you the one who persuaded junior sister Yun to surrender? Zhuo Piaoyu looked at Feng Ming with a hint of admiration in her eyes. Yun Chujio's lips could not help but twitch. Senior brother Bird was really oblivious. Feng Ming smiled. He said in a clear voice, I didn't advise her junior sister little Gio felt that she was too reckless yesterday, so she came over herself. Junior sister Sue, the two of you were just quarreling. You scolded junior sister little Nine first and even used a wind blade. Although junior sister little Gio hit you, she didn't hit you that hard. Why don't we just let it go? Otherwise, both of you will be punished by the sex rules. Su Yan was so angry that she almost passed out. She was almost beaten into a pulp, and that was not considered hard. Are you blind? Xue Piaoya's hands were tightly clenched together under her sleeves, and her nails dug into her flesh. Senior brother Feng Ming actually protected Yun Chujio so much. It was really detestable. Senior brother Feng Ming, although junior sister Zu's words are indeed not pleasant to listen to, Yun Chujio shouldn't have hit someone first. Let's not argue anymore and wait for Elder Shao to deal with her. Xue Piaoyu suppressed the hatred in her heart and said gently, You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.